a great bumper sticker.
For the Lemon Party.
Yeah.
Lemon Party 2016.
One was it proud member of the Lemon Party.
I'm voting for Lemon Party
And you
because I
have to
care
have
about
the
American
website,
values.
the URL underneath it.
Okay.
Okay. Alright. So, I'm going to try something new this episode.
Okay,
What I
so
wanna try
if we all die...
Yeah, if we all die, it's my fault, I'm sorry. So...
Well, I wrote out my will anyway, so...
There you go. I have the pre-episode warning and the intro on the soundboard, so I can do those in real time. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll go into the actual episode.
Okay.
So instead of
that's like a really bad version of the Jaws theme. Like instead of the Jaws theme where you're supposed to be scared, you're scared for a totally different reason.
We still got to record and do the thing for like the Law and Order parody.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And other podcasts that discussing doujinshi. This is the
letter. This is the letter.
This is it.
Oh, you got that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I have to drop it.
They treat anime as a serious and thought-provoking medium, and others.
I never have, so you know. I mean, not to say there aren't shows that are, but as a whole, I don't.
So, So I'm interested to see this new process and see if it leads to brain cancer or whatnot. So that's a. Let's.
Well, hey, we found out recently that phones do.
I thought that was kind of speculative for decades now.
Right, but I think they actually proved that it does actually cause some type of radiation blast of cancer or some bullshit.
Well, you know what's one of the biggest carcinogens that we consume? Alcohol, and nobody's stopping that anytime soon.
Yep.
No, but
got repealed.
No, but I think everybody wants to take up smoking after those horrible fucking public service announcements.
I know they keep saying about was it all the hormone things and like plastic. It's like, nope, I'm not gonna give up toy collecting. Nope.
You're gonna die of something anyway.
If my mom can't stop me, you think that's gonna stop me?
Exactly.
Nah, they're gonna send the MPs in to take your collection.
Fucking FBI bursting through with like the fucking
don't
battering
take
ram.
my
They got searchlights and dogs and shit.
Don't take my merch.
No, not the FBI, SWAT. You know that whole thing about swatting? You're gonna get swatted.
Yeah, a neighbor was really pissed off at me, so they swatted me.
Some troll got a hand of my address and he doesn't like my shit.
They just were mad at my collection of stuff. So they told him that I had them. Yeah, I had.
He wants me to stop using the underslung grenade launcher in my Call of Duty stream, so he keeps wanting me.
What's sad about that is there's some fucker who would do that.
It's like he keep calling him. He called me a noob. I said fuck you, and it's like and then people with actual underslung grenade launchers came to my house. I was actually kind of scared.
Well then.
I still don't get the appeal of PewDiePie.
Me neither.
Don't ask me why either.
And he was on the South Park. And he was in a South Park episode too.
I'm not surprised.
Like I said, that
popular enough, I suppose.
Maybe we need to reinstall Don't Ask, Don't Tell, but put it in a different context here.
Don't ask questions to answers that you don't want.
Yes.
All right. Everyone ready?
Yes.
Yep.
Ready.
Okay.
All units, this is Neko 2 in actual, be advised. Initial thermal scans show content that may not be suitable for those who are easily offended or under the age of 18. Break. We're seeing coarse language, dark humor, and discussion of adult otaku media ahead. Listener discretion is strongly advised before proceeding. Neko 2-1 out.
Emergency! Emergency! The massive battleship NTR Radio is approaching fast. Your mission begins now.
Warning. Warning.
Welcome to NTR Radio. I'm Tom Enforcer Anubis.
I'm K-Gods.
I'm VZ Mark II. I break for idols.
Villainous Sinach is here.
Yes. He's already getting nice and liquored up.
And if you don't already know me, then let me tell you exactly who I am. For I am the mosquito that buzzes around your ear incessantly. I am the text at 3 in the morning that wakes you up. I am the job recruiter that never gets back to you. I am Villainous Hanacha.
Oh yes.
Impressive.
Considering some of the stuff we're going to bring up, I think you're going to want another helping of. I think you're going to want more to drink.
And yes, as Villainous Hanacha only drinks the best. He is, of course, drinking right now Lustau Sherry Manzanilla Papiosa. Quite delicious.
That
Absolutely.
sounded like 18 different languages. I don't know what the fuck that is at all.
It's entirely Spanish, actually. So.
Okay.
And I have Aquafina.
And
Because
also,
I'm a cheap fuck.
And later tonight, I will be drinking Samuel Smith's Oatmeal Stout. So I will be drinking like a true 19th century Englishman.
Oh, so will you also be donning the sweet hat?
If I get paid enough, sure. I'll put on that.
Like rummage around, get out the red coat, you know?
However, I think the hat would honestly clash with my crew shirt, which you can just make sure my name isn't showing. See here, with the Sentai dog on it.
Ah,
So how is everybody?
Not too bad.
I'm good. I'm alright.
The intro. Hey.
Yeah.
That worked.
So
I didn't get brain cancer.
I'm trying like 3 different new techniques on this episode. So if it ruins the episode, you know who to blame.
Yes. Canada.
Yes.
Of course.
Specifically, probably Toronto. I don't know why, but for some reason I just want them or possibly Ontario.
Well, Toronto because like they're the city that they always use for filming in New York City back when it was far too expensive to film.
Yes.
So,
It just happens to look kind of similar.
Before we say what we've been watching, I want to say what I've been doing along with that. I've actually been playing games on my iPhone.
Ah.
Some of them. One of them I tried to play. They released in English the Love Live game.
Mm.
Yeah, I have that on my tablet. And I haven't played it.
I tried. I am terrible at rhythm games. I do not have the. I do not.
So you don't hang out on weekends at the local arcade playing DDR?
What local arcade? Where's the local arcade? Yeah, welcome to 1995.
Wait. He lives in New York City. He can travel to Chinatown and go to Chinatown Fair. There is that one arcade. They have DDR.
Tried,
Okay, the arcade.
and I'm trying. I'm like trying so hard to get that new Cinderella Girls game, but it's Japan only, and you need like a Japan iTunes account, even though it's free also.
This is what proxies are for.
Yeah, see, I gotta figure out how to do that shit. But then again, it's another rhythm game, and I'm
what is it? The Concol website wiki actually offers a way to get a Japanese IP address. Because the browser game is Japan only as well. So they actually offer a guide to set a different proxy.
Yeah, I'll look into that. I did. There is and I think Anubis is going to be interested in this. Sonic Dash.
No, I'm not interested.
No, it's actually a pretty good Sonic thing.
I am finished with Sonic altogether. Like, unless they come out with legit, straight up, name and everything, Sonic Adventure 3, I'm done.
They've
been lollygagging. Excuse me.
Mission failed.
They've been lollygagging for far too long on this. Oh, Sonic 06. That was terrible. Sonic Unleashed. Why does Sonic need to become a werewolf? Oh, Sonic Generations. Hey, let's take a whole bunch of levels from previous Sonic games and put them in a Sonic game and pretend it's good. We're gonna fucking Sonic and the Black Knight. Well, why Sonic needs a sword? No, we ran out of ideas. We ran out of ideas except for the good ideas, but we don't actually want to do the good ideas. So
they have some.
Sonic 4. Yeah, let's make a 2D platformer again because that's really what. That's really everyone's just chomping at the bit to play this 2D platformer.
But I thought we here at NTR Radio liked lollygagging.
They have
my bad.
They have some of the original Sonic games on there, but you have to pay for those, including Sonic CD.
Sonic games. I already have the original Sonic games 3 times over. There was a point in time at which I was in possession of 3 copies of Sonic Mega Collection Plus for the PlayStation 2.
But then you saw too many Sonic Spinball video playthroughs, and then you just no.
And decided, you know what?
Or Sonic R. You also don't need Sonic R. We can do it.
Sonic R was ballin'. I loved Sonic R.
Oh, I love that music for Sonic R.
The soundtrack
even the shittiest of Sonic's games. No, even the shittiest of Sonic games have good music. The only
Sonic 06 had fantastic music.
Yeah, just to prove the point, the only Sonic game that had bad music was Sonic Chronicles, and that was made in Canada. By BioWare.
I don't want to know what kind of decision making went into saying, hey, let's have BioWare make a Sonic game.
Well,
didn't they do Mass Effect? It
was a Sonic RPG.
Opposite of Sonic the Hedgehog. What
Sonic game was this?
Sonic Chronicles.
It was an RPG.
Yeah.
Oh, I never even heard of it.
So it's like, hey, let's take. If there was a line segment, and Sonic the Hedgehog was on this side, Mass Effect would probably be on the opposite side of that line segment. I don't see where any of these two things intersect, but somehow they got BioWare to make a Sonic the Hedgehog game.
Much like the Castlevania franchise, that's one thing they always nail, even if the game itself isn't up to par. They always nail the music.
Yep.
Yeah, considering where
Sega games in general just have great music.
I don't think Konami's gonna last.
Original on Mars wasn't very good, but the music was fantastic.
I don't think Konami's gonna last too long.
No, at least not as far as making video games for people who play video games and not pachinko machines.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Right. Well, let's talk about what we've been watching since, it's kind of an anime podcast. Sometimes.
Occasionally, maybe, sort of.
I think we're all still watching Shimoneta.
Yeah, one more episode.
I'm caught up on all the episodes but the most recent one.
Yeah.
It gets increasingly just out there in some elements.
Yeah. I like the one. I think it's episode the beginning of episode 8 where they're walking down the street and what's the name of the short girl? I keep forgetting her name.
The dwarf.
Yeah, and she just takes out this huge things of bread and takes a bite, and then just tries to take another bite and starts choking on it. Did anyone else catch that?
No, actually, I don't think I did. And quite honestly, at first, when you said the short girl, I thought you were talking about the one that looks like a dick.
Yeah, but no, it's in the bottom left corner of the screen. She's taking this baguette, and she's just walking, takes a bite, and then she goes to take another bite, and then her eyes go wide, and she just starts flailing around like she's choking on the piece of bread, and I'm like, what is going on? It's just the most complete non sequitur sort of thing that could possibly happen in this scene. Nobody's paying any attention to her.
How about the uber creepy guy in the bandages?
The freaking
not bandages, underwear.
Oh yeah. He looks like a mummy though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he drinks from the glass, and the panties in the glass.
I can't think of the guy's name. Isn't it White Peak or something?
Yeah.
I think that's it.
I think it's White Peak.
I'd have to look, and I don't feel like doing that right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's increasingly gotten out of control. Fun stuff. Not that there's really such thing as a spoiler in my opinion on this show. Not really. It's not like it's some kind of Sherlock Holmes, scenario where like, who done it,
One more episode.
Yep.
But
I really hope it gets another season so we could see the character on the volume of the light novel, volume 8.
Yeah.
But apparently, from what I hear, again, it's not doing.
It's just closing shop.
From what I hear, it's
Yes. The committee that's their fault, right?
The committee is spoken.
Everyone's still watching Umaru-chan?
Yeah. I am one episode behind. I still need to watch
that has been great. Loving every episode.
I gotta kind of agree with Anubis though. Like, what a little shit.
She is, but I love her.
But he can't stay mad at her.
It's just like, yeah, I want cola. It's like 2 a.m. It's just like, what the fuck?
She goes out and gets cola.
I just like how dude's sleeping. She jumps on the dude like.
Yeah, like holy crap!
Or he comes in the door and she just
Smalls
rounds the
him.
corner and jumps on his face.
Yeah. Well, that's the funny thing because it goes
in a normal world, she'd get punted, but she'd get spiked like the football.
Right. Well, right. Halftime.
I love. Was it the part with the man? Was it the? Not the. I don't think. No. Was it her? Is it her boss? Isn't the boss or? The adult female character.
Oh, you mean his boss?
Yeah.
Where he's like working late on Christmas.
Yeah. Was it? She goes home.
She's clearly flirting with him, and he doesn't get it.
Yeah, and I'm just like thinking.
It's like nobody could be that obtuse. Like
I'm just thinking of like what I think Miss Krabappel from The Simpsons said it the best: soup for one, salad for one, wine for 3. That's pretty much it.
But is that just me? Like nobody could be that obtuse.
Yeah. It's like dog. Pay attention.
I mean, I've known some people that were a little aloof about some things, but I don't think anybody would be that completely clueless. I guess sleep deprivation does that to you, though.
And for stuff that I'm watching, I dropped. It was just getting kind of boring. I mean, not terrible, but it was just kind of getting not really engaging. I dropped Saragaseu.
Yeah, I dropped it early, I guess, because I just kind of got. It's not that I even disliked it so much as that I don't know. I just lost interest somewhat.
Exactly. Yeah.
I didn't have like anything in for it, or it's not like Anubis with like Inferno Copper, or having his Infinite Stratos moment where.
Show just makes me mad.
I think I just started something.
I'm gonna try not to comment on it, but that show just really made me mad when they threw out the entire premise to do something not interesting at all. I'm sorry. You say one thing and then you do another, and it's like, hey, you came here for one thing, but we're actually going to do something. We're going to do the complete opposite of what you want from this show. And somehow I got a sequel.
There's a certain point at which even that charming little French girl Charlotte cannot save this show, and there was that point has been reached, unfortunately.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I was Team Cecilia all the way.
For Team Cecilia, 100% all day, every day. Somehow I finished that show.
The first
somehow I finished the first season of that show. It made me angry enough to not want to watch the second season, but somehow, some way, the first season came and went for me, and I was fine at the tail end of it.
I did actually watch the second season of that. It does not get any better.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get a third one.
But
Anubis just had an aneurysm.
I'd be pissed. I'd wonder why.
Because in the reality, I'm a masochist, and the thing is, I don't like admitting it.
That's why you watch Makeup Girls.
Yeah, that's probably the reason why. That's probably the reason why. But as far as other things being watched, I'm watching Charlotte. Is anyone else watching Charlotte?
No.
I still need to check it out.
No, I mean I've seen some images and some people talking about it, but I'm honestly not even really sure what it's about.
It's a little bit of a, I will admit it's a little bit of a mixed bag, and unfortunately it's a really cool premise, and unlike a lot of people who had a major problem with the fact that the main plot, you could say, only started in episode 6, so prior to that it was kind of just world building and character building, as it were. I didn't mind that. The thing that I mind is that it has a similar problem to Angel Beats, and that it's just too goddamn short.
Okay.
It's it's a Jun Maeda work, and quite frankly, I feel like he kind of needs the 2 core length in order to really do what he does.
Right.
I mean, hell, for Clannad, he had fucking 2 series that were 2 core for that, and he managed to make that one work out. And even for the 2006 version of Canon, that worked out too. But that also had 26 episodes, and Angel Beats kind of proved that he needs more room than that, unfortunately. And I feel like because Charlotte also has that similar problem. It's not a lot of the questions that have been raised are just not going to be answered. I know they're not, because they're 2 episodes away from the finale at this point. And
there's nothing more annoying than when you're really into a show and then it just stops.
Yeah.
Like you can tell that they had it even set up to keep going, but they can't for one reason or another.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it might end up being the same way as Angel Beats, a really good idea that kind of gets shafted by its length, and then we have to wait until supplementary material comes out, and then that kind of expands upon it.
That's the way I feel about Shima Nado right now.
But
it's gonna cut off from.
Yeah, very, very, very obviously so. And spoiler alert: when what's her name? The Dick Girl. It's not the Fuda. She's not a Fuda, but the one who looks like a penis from the backside. Which is an ongoing joke if you've never seen the show. She basically turned traitor.
Yeah.
Which I saw coming, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Because she's one of those people that are into it just to be rebellious.
Yeah, she's just into it to be freaking countercultural.
But then she went back.
She's a bitch. I did not like her one bit from the very beginning.
How did I know you were going to say that? There's a certain, I guess, after all this time, mind meld thing going on where when I see a character in the back of my head, I bet Anubis hates this character.
Anubis doesn't like this character very much.
I can totally tell.
But yeah, and of course there is one other thing that I'm watching that I know that none of you guys are watching, which is the continuation of Do Da Da Da.
I still have to finish the first Do Da Da Da.
Which it's
I actually saw an episode of that on
it would probably help if the show didn't sound like you were practicing scales.
I will admit it's a bit of it's a weirdo name. I just happen to like it because I think it's probably one of the. I hesitate to use the word best bit strong, but it's a really good example of like urban fiction, and it's like, and it's just for the fact it's like this whole idea like there's so many characters, but the show is perfectly fine with kind of just leaving characters to their own devices for a very long time.
I
And
do
it's
like
the city kind of has its own character, and that's really what I like about urban fiction.
I do like the
fantasy.
one based just on her character design, the one with the glasses and the boobs.
No,
Honestly.
she's adorable.
Yeah. So no, go on.
And she of course did have her seat, like her thing with like her being, well, spoilers if you haven't watched the first season, her being the host of like this demonic sword and being unable to love. She's actually a fairly interesting character when you get down to it, but I'll cut myself off from that because then I'll be talking by myself about I know that DZ you're watching Working.
Which one?
Working.
Oh, Working. Yes. I don't think I still think the second season is the best in terms of being the funniest. But one thing I do like about this season is I'm really glad that it's tying up all the loose ends with the characters.
No, that's something I really like, is that because all we finally get to see Takanashi's mom, or the rest of Yamada's, or if that is her proper name or not, family. It's like it's one of those things where it's like I actually wouldn't mind the show ending here.
Yeah, Yachiro and I forgot the chef guy.
Sato.
Yeah, they got together.
And it's like, yeah, I will say that the show really did hit its stride in the second season, because that's when Inami stopped punching people.
I love that that's considered to be a talking point.
It really is a contention with people it's like the barrier of entry for that.
No, it's something that kind of annoyed me about the first season as well. It's like the first season to me did have its strong points, but then it also had Inami, and it's like that was to me like a definite negative about the first season. But they managed to kind of curtail her more annoying personality traits in the second season, where she punches people less. And yes, now that I'm saying that out loud, it sounds really strange, but yes, it is entirely true. Now that everyone knows each other, they kind of the situational comedy is a lot stronger in the second season, I feel. What I always found odd about that show is that sure, he was forced to cross-dress a lot as a little kid, but Takanashi only willingly cross-dresses once in the entire series, and it becomes like this whole famous thing that's constantly referenced back to it. Like, he did it once.
No, he
did it one time.
He did it again in the second season, and he did it again in the third.
He didn't do it again in the third. That was a flashback to when he was a kid.
No, yeah, but he did it again in the second season, and he did it again in the third, dressing up as.
Well, the second season, okay, I might have just forgotten about, but the third, was that the most recent episode?
Yes, but also in the second season when he sees Inami and her mother.
Okay, because that was. If you're saying he did it again in the third season, I'll take your word on that, because I haven't seen the most recent episode as of late, and the second season, fine. I probably just forgot about that, because it's like the gap between the second and the third season was pretty large, so I didn't really revisit it during that time.
Another thing that I'm watching is Non Biori, which it's like I wasn't sure if it was as good as first season, but now it really is. Like back on where I'm really liking it.
I'm continuing to watch the very maligned and very kind of divisive Gaku Garashi, which is increasingly becoming even more depressing than it already was.
You see, there's a reason why I kind of dropped that thing on the first episode, because I knew that I wouldn't be able to stomach it later on.
That's the way I felt.
Let's just say that that was a good call on your guys' part, because the way that first episode ends, like almost every episode gets more and more unpleasant, and it's one of those things where if you were to extend it by, I don't know, like 30 or more episodes or something like that after it was over, it would probably end with, somebody committing suicide live in the studio, just to get the right amount of going down,
Yeah.
All right, but I know that more people than just me are watching Idle. That's fair.
Oh, well, I keep forgetting to mention this on the show, and I have to say it now. I love Waku Waku Girl. The way I describe that show is basically just eating Oreo frosting, and nothing but Oreo frosting.
So,
Well, okay. In the wake of that one image with the love nectar Oreos, that takes on a whole new meaning.
yeah.
Or a can of frosting.
Double stuff.
Or like the can of Ready Whip, just like squeezing it into your mouth.
Yeah, that's pretty much the show. It.
So it's disgusting.
No,
like the visual of somebody like just sitting there with a shirt on that's too short for them, like sitting there just like on their bed with their mouth open, hanging off the edge, just like spraying the shit into their mouth. It's just, that is fucking nasty.
No, I
it
think
reminds me of that SNL skit where where it shows Will Ferrell and all those guys running, and it's like they're all eating this cookie dough. It's gross.
I more meant it as, like kind of just eating White Castle in general. It's good, but you shouldn't be doing it.
Oh yeah, so basically it's one of those things. Well, they call them sliders, and they call them that for a reason.
Because they ain't gonna be staying in your body for very long.
No, and the smells that are going to be created are on par with a rotting casket.
I'm also watching that short Wazako something, the one about the woman who visits the bars and eats something and then goes
yeah, that beer sound that all like that the older anime women seem to make when they drink a large frosty mug of beer, that letting out the air sound like that.
Yeah, kind of like that.
It's
Warriors.
It's that really fucking tasty ass beer. It's like, I guess it's not even like the beer itself is tasty, because I know for a fact it's not tasty by itself. Like that, Jeff.
No,
it's not tasty by itself. It's more the fact that it's wet and that it's fizzy and that it's alcohol.
Is anybody watching Bikini Warriors still?
No, I only saw the first one.
I only asked because they're shorts, and you could probably watch all of them in one go, just like that.
They wear shorts.
Sometimes.
Right now, actually.
Sometimes they wear shorts.
You're very lucky that I'm wearing shorts at all. I could be wearing nothing.
At least you're not wearing those really tiny shorts that some people wear.
Oh, the biker shorts, the spats.
Like the ones where somebody will sit on a bench and spread their legs, like the quote unquote man spreading.
The moose knuckle is what they call it from that.
Those are the most horrifying things to ever see when you're in the park. Like you're jogging or something like that, or just there for one reason or another. You're in the park and you see somebody just sitting on a bench with their legs just. You're just trying to look away because you know you're going to get an eyeful at one point, and it's going to be horrible.
It's a train wreck. You must look away when you can.
Well, yeah, because if you look away too much, you might run into something.
But yeah, I know that VZ is watching Cinderella Girls.
Yes, of course.
VZ?
Yes.
Are you two watching the Cinderellas?
Yeah,
Personally, to finish the first Idol Master.
absolutely.
I haven't started it. I haven't started it yet. It's on the barbecue rack.
Anubis, you are worse than than my friend Crazy Coburn about this stuff. I didn't think there was any person who was slower to get to the stuff than him.
Well, you're looking at
me wrong.
No, but come on, Anubis is the type that does this term paper the night before it's due.
Yeah.
I thought that was everyone. I thought that was everyone.
You had all semester to do this, but.
Nah, I'm gonna do it tonight.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay up late night on Red Bull or whatever I got. And
you've had all semester to do both of these papers. Yeah, it's the day before grades are due. I guess I might as well bang these out.
It's funny, but probably true.
This isn't a joke. This is something that actually happened to me.
No, I totally believe you, but was it with the. But VZ, I'm guessing. So what do you? I know that the more recent episodes of the second season are kind of causing a bit of heated discussion as per the actions of Mio and Rin, and kind of leaving Uzuki in the lurch, as it were.
Oh, yeah, basically, Uzuki's starting to lose her ego.
Yeah, she's basically the other two of the group of New Gen, Mio and Rin. They kind of have this thing where it's their previous where Rin gets shuttled into the Mishido's new thing.
Yeah, Triad Primus.
Yeah, Triad Primus, and of the evil, not so evil executive. And initially kind of Mio goes off in a huff and she tries to be an actress now, but those two actually make up, but Uzuki kind of never really takes it that well, and she kind of gets left behind in all of this, and it's finally kind of starting to show maybe kind of deciding to do these things on your own terms without telling, the other member of your group, perhaps wasn't the best idea. Especially because, I remember someone saying that, Uzuki, how she keeps saying "ganbarimasu," how it's all kind of like a madness mantra now. She just keeps saying it because it's her mind is slowly deteriorating.
I just like seeing all the new characters that they've been putting in and all that. They finally put in some of the ones that were the more recent voiced idols, the ones that had the character albums already.
Yeah, they're putting in a lot more of the rest of the Master Collection, which is nice. But but then again, they're also barely getting any screen time, so it's
true. I mean, even the ones that don't have Master Collections yet, but they are Irisu's gonna get one.
Or was it Kome also is the spooky one with the long sleeves.
Yeah.
She got a few scenes, but I know that she's had a Master Collection CD for a while now.
Oh yeah. So does the
Mushroom Girl.
Yeah. Shoko.
Yeah, it's Shoko. It's just the older system of romanization, but it's still pronounced Shoko.
Shoko, yeah.
But that's at least that's as far as I can think of.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch I wish would show up, but right now there's not enough time because there's only a couple more episodes left.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 episodes left.
Yeah, I think it's gonna end at 25.
I'm not sure if they're gonna do a 13 episode second half or
they
a 12
might have
half.
they might have it where the last one will be a Blu-ray exclusive thing.
But that means that the last episode because that means that then the Winter Ball will be Blu-ray exclusive. That will kind of suck, honestly.
No. I mean, it would be like 25 would be the last, and then it would be an extra episode, kind of like what they did with the original series, where it was 25, and then they made it. It had an extra 26. That was
all right. But yeah, all right then, because basically the thing has to end with the Winter Ball.
Yeah. Pretty much like what I know it's not done by KyoAni, but what KyoAni does in their shows, where it's like episode 13 is like the last of whatever story, and then they'll have one more on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's just like them going to the beach or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like what Apate did.
Just some random shit.
Yeah,
like they're playing hide and go seek or some shit. I don't know.
Like
they're smoking grass. I don't know.
They're smoking crack.
Like the first season
grass, not crack. But crack might be funnier. I'm not sure.
The first season of Chinibyo, where that extra episode was just a Christmas episode.
Yep.
Like that's what I'm talking about.
But that ended up being canonical. That was the weird thing too.
Well, again, like you said, some of these things do come across as rather non sequitur. Like they're not really considered. They're almost like joke omake kind of things.
Right.
But obviously, I always thought it'd be funny. And again, this is my weird pervy side coming out, I guess. But I always thought it'd be funny if they had not necessarily that show, but just any show really, where like how they have like a Christmas episode. That's a very common type of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it like if they showed what's probably really going on Christmas in Japan, where it just shows like depressed people, and then it shows like some guy at the office railing some girl on the desk, like while chugging like sake, And
no, that would actually be kind of appropriate, because Christmas for them is basically our Valentine's Day. It's a dating holiday over there. Yep. So.
Right. Well, yeah, but. Well, yeah.
That's the whole thing with like Amagami in School Days. How they both take place around Christmas.
Yes. I forgot about that. There is that Christmas kind of background and School Days on that one aspect. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
because she's just wandering around like in the almost the equivalent of like I don't know, a train station or something.
I don't know. It's like she's like in like the big town park
square or whatever.
Yeah, like Times Square with the huge
that's
Christmas
what I was thinking
tree.
Of. Times Square. That's what I was thinking of.
Snow piling up on her. She's gone crazy.
Are some people from Minnesota like marveling at like a dead carcass of a tree?
It's just like it's just got branches coming off. It doesn't even have like pine needles.
It's just like
sticks.
A dead fucking tree.
They tied a bunch of sticks together.
You could have, like the tree like speaking to us. You could have appreciated my beauty while I was still alive. But instead you dragged my carcass.
It's like the trees from fucking Zelda.
Oh, shit.
Come inside.
But even still with the Christmas thing, it's like if you watch most like rom-com anime, like they'll have like like something romantically relevant happen on Christmas.
Yep.
So.
Like I'm saying, you could flip that and be the actual thing where somebody's just like huddled up. I know it's depressing, but huddled up in their room with their figures, and like staring like at you can see the glow from their Xbox or their TV.
Actually,
it wouldn't be the Xbox because it's Japan.
Yeah.
But like you see the glow of their TV or their monitor, on their face.
They actually did kind of that in one of the Mitsudo Moe episodes.
Oh yeah. Mitsudo. I haven't seen that in a while. I mean, I know we
saw
the
that.
Teacher, and he had the mannequin dressed like the nurse.
Right. I'm honestly kind of starting to forget some of that. I just remember one of the things I loved was the ongoing joke of the dad.
Oh yeah.
That had like the really thick lines that they drew. And then they would grab him every time because they thought he looked suspicious. All the main three were kind of bratty.
Yeah.
So wait, if you're doing like this depressing version of Christmas, then you have to have that music that I don't know what the piece is called, but it's like that New Year's thing. It's
Yeah. The
Oh,
music.
that's the New Year's song.
Yeah, basically the sound a lot of people hear before they kick the bucket they're standing on.
Or like before they puke over the balcony.
Yeah, or fall off the balcony.
Yeah, even better. But I noticed now that it is 9:51, and Anubis, do you want this first segment to be that long?
It's like 40. We're at 40 minutes. We're up against the break. Keep it right here on NTR Radio.
Did you say that you need to go to the bathroom, BZ?
Yeah.
That's a good call. I need to use it as well. So I'll be back.
Roger. So I have to get the damn Sonic CD soundtrack on this thing.
And speaking of soundtracks, I noticed that one time you had an Under Night in Birth tune on like behind your edited podcast, and if you, I think that one other song that you like is, you remember that one where I asked you where it was inspired from, but because it sounded so familiar.
Yeah.
Like now that character's been out for a while, there is actually the song separate. Like you can actually get it without like having the background being sounds of girls beating each other up. So
I'll have to get that then, because that song was pretty dope.
Yeah, it was. Honestly, it was like it. I think it's one of the better pieces out of that soundtrack. Wait 1 second. I'll put it in a link. And it has that really weird name, Under Night in Birth. It's spelled Under Night in verse, or anyway, it's spelled Under Night in Birth, but it's pronounced Under Night in verse.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate Chunibyo fucking game. It also contains unreal black things. I'm not joking. That's literally a tagline of it. What's your name? Hold on. Yeah, there we go. The song is called Sound of Night Wind.
Gotcha.
And here it is. Right there. I will say though, it's super Sega-esque. Like, a little bit of there's Virtua Fighter in there. There's a bit of Sonic in there. It's all sorts of shit. I'm wondering if French Bread is actually receiving money from Sega to make this game. I will say this much: like that game is it is a little. I'm glad it was a budget release of $40 starting, because it's a little bare bones. I'll say that much. Like unlike almost most anime fighters these days, it doesn't have a story mode separate from its arcade mode.
Ah.
It really makes no effort also to really teach the person how to play the game, which is kind of problematic considering it has a lot of system mechanics. Like, that's something that I really appreciate about BlazBlue, is that it really goes out of its way to try and teach a person how to play it. and that's something I appreciate about it. Unfortunately, even though Undeniable Verse is kind of like really cool, it has a lot of the same problems that other fighting game console releases have, in that it's not much more than an arcade mode, a practice mode, and an online mode for you to get for you to lose 50 times and to never play it again.
Pretty much. That's basically how they released
Hey,
Virtual Law and Oratorio Tangram, except they had a score attack mode on that too.
hey, Hanacha.
Yeah.
But I guess in case you don't get tickets to Comic-Con, is there anything you want me to get you there?
Or
nothing.
I'm not exactly certain at the moment. I would need to look at the Figma site in order for that to happen. But I really don't know, because I'm really hoping that they save the date soon, because at the end of this month I'm going to be working for a week in the United Nations. So
Damn.
I'm doing catering. It's not that. I'm not that fucking important. Let's be really real here.
You'll be just like, and now we're going to debate the importance of dojins.
I was actually going to. I'm back. I actually have a story. I was talking with the girlfriend about it, and it just reminded me about it. So during like the third segment, if you guys want to, it's not really any kind of anime thing. It's just
I hope
like
she comes back to Twitter soon.
Tales from childhood. Well, I don't know that. We'll talk about that off. We're not dealing with this. I'll explain more about that.
Sure. Oh, you have more information?
Sort of, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Hope it's nothing she did.
No, just jackasses.
Alright, well, you can tell me after.
Yeah, but I actually have a story. It's not anime related. It's just like kind of tales from the childhood. Basically grade school. That's all I'll tell you for now. I think you guys will get a big kick out of it.
As long as it isn't the poop house thing, or whatever that story was called.
The poop house.
The ceiling.
Oh no! It's not. Okay, that's what you meant.
No.
It's not that. It's not nearly that lengthy of a story.
Von Scheisskopf or whatever the fucking.
Baron von
PC.
I really don't even care if that story's real or not.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I honestly
at
don't.
a certain point, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like I'm a little incredulous as to whether it's actually real or not, but I really don't care, because quite frankly, even if it was made up, if I could make up shit like that, I wouldn't be doing this right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be a leader. That's really what it comes down to. I would be
writing horror movies.
I will be living in the Upper West Side on like the fucking 50th floor of a high-rise with a view of fucking Central Park, and I would be
and clearly creating the next Hellraiser movie.
Exactly.
Hellraiser 15: The Feces Returns. Electric Boogaloo. Armageddon. This time it's personal special edition.
Special guest star Nick Cannon.
Special effects by Lucasfilms.
Nick Cannon. Oh fuck, Nick Cannon. Oh fuck me.
Jon Stewart doesn't have a show anymore.
Fuck Nick Cannon. Dave Chappelle. He's hilarious.
I could actually see him being in a really funny B movie.
Nick Cannon?
Nick Cannon?
No, Dave Chappelle.
Oh, okay. That's if he even wants to be on camera anymore.
Yeah, ever again.
So I suppose you already know that Colbert is now doing the Late Show.
Yeah.
Yes. Alright, ready on second segment.
Yes.
In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to NTR Radio. Alright, so this time, there's a reason we have Villainous Sinachi here. He's not just here to fill space. He went to a convention like 18 weekends ago.
So hopefully his recall is still here.
Yeah, that was the thing. As we drew closer and closer to this, I was realizing, like, holy shit, I'm like losing more and more of the details of like what actually happened. And
so it was like one of those things where abductees get taken and they're trying to put them through hypnosis to try to get them to remember shit.
I needed to put myself in Guantanamo Bay in order to remember it.
Not those kind of abductees. I meant like UFOs. I didn't mean like,
Well, you may have not meant it, but I put myself in Guantanamo Bay just for you.
Yes, where they blast Limp Bizkit and make you watch.
Which is why I'm drinking compulsively now to get the bad memories out of my head. Speaking of which, I am now drinking Oatmeal Stout by Samuel Smith, Old Tadcaster Brewery.
I'm not gonna lie, for about 15 seconds I thought that was a bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce.
Well, why would he just be drinking it? Just
Hey, that stuff's good.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, I'm just not even gonna go there.
I'm not gonna judge how people want to enjoy their Sweet Baby Ray's.
No, I don't. I don't drink barbecue sauce. I don't.
Do you need some
I like how that's something that needs to be said.
Motherfucking ranch?
Because you were the one who said this unholy thing about drinking.
That sounds like something. That sounds like something that there's this picture of like this really obese woman. I think it's a woman. I can't tell. Wheelchair. And
You can't tell.
wait. Yeah, I can't.
Please be careful. I have beer in my mouth. I was about to spit it over my keyboard.
And you see it. I can't tell again. Eating a block of cheese.
Oh.
It's like
And
a
in the
big
back-
block of cheese.
And in the back of her wheelchair is a box of cheese nips.
Oh Jesus!
It's like
Ew.
just a box, just a block of cheese. Like just.
It's like, that's just
That's
disgusting
horrible.
to me. I can't imagine, like, or what kind of cheese was it? Because this is important.
I have no idea. It probably was cheddar.
Ew.
Just like
You know,
Yeah.
even, I might be able to
Ew.
forgive her. I might be able to forgive this woman if like she was having cheese that was like
Oh, there it is.
really
I just
having some really high class shit, like like Stilton Blue or like
Goat cheese.
Taleggio or.
guys, it's the first image. If you type into Google "eating a block of cheese,"
I don't want to
So
know.
if anyone ever wanted to type into Google, if anyone really, you know what I really want to type into Google right now just to see what would happen: eating a block of cheese.
and that's the
and
first.
then just click. I feel lucky.
It's absolutely disgusting.
You won't feel after you get that image.
America, where we could eat a block of cheese.
Well, anyway, moving away from the.
We do have a topic for this podcast.
Yeah.
Moving away from cheddar.
Moving away from cheddar and the general disgustingness of America.
Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah,
I literally cannot tell what gender that is.
we don't need to ask questions to answers that we really don't want answered. but anyway, it's like what I do remember of the place that I went to is called. Let's see if we can read it. It's all reverse, so I don't know how you pronounce that reverse, but
Yeah.
I pronounce it Waku Waku NYC. It was something that I went to not as a guest, but as a crew member, which you can see. Sure, my name is not exposed.
Special.
Right here, you can see that stupid-looking Sentai dog right there. That dog actually exists, by the way. Not in this clothing. He doesn't stand on two legs and fight like fucking that woman with horns who was in Power Rangers. Who talked about making monsters grow. But no, that dog was real. His name is Tucker. I've been calling him Truffle this whole time.
Wait, who names their dog Tucker?
Ask fucking ASICs. I don't know.
That was one of those names that George Carlin was bitching about.
That's the company that sponsored this whole clusterfuck. Yes, clusterfuck. I'm gonna.
Okay, so we know what foot we're getting off on this time.
Yes, let's because what I do remember is kind of long-winded. So let's just begin right away.
Buckle down.
Was it a clusterfuck? Well, yes. So I need to start at the very, very fucking beginning with I get sent in for my first meeting at the very end of August, and like in the last week of August. Mind you that this thing takes place. The actual con takes place on August 29th to the 30th. And I get called in for my first crew meeting. My first crew meeting on like the 21st. Just put that in your head, Romo. And before all of this, it was just email correspondence. So like we go in and we find out, like where the venue, basic stuff, like where the venue is going to be located, what each of us are going to be doing. I actually got one of the nicer jobs, I'll say that much. I was on the pre-reg line, for all the people who got their tickets online.
Right.
All we had to do was scan their barcode and give them a badge. But I was actually in the main place too. That's the other thing, is that the place where this is being held, the Brooklyn Expo Center, I haven't heard of it until this year because apparently it's not even a year old. They call it an expo center, and the people who were put into managerial positions, who have already gotten the meeting before like us normal plebes did, all have said, looked in the place and said to us, calling it a convention center is extremely generous. And lo and behold, it is very generous when I finally see the place.
It's really just a closet.
If you can put the words closet and convention center, despite how diametrically opposed they are, into one thing, yes, that would essentially.
I was kind of kidding.
It isn't even on one full block square. I'll say that much. It's like half the block square. But to make up for the space, they're putting it in, what is it? 3 other locations that are like semi-close to it in Brooklyn, basically to make up for the fact that the Brooklyn Expo Center, which is the main location, is really only large enough for the showroom and for dealers and whatnot. Which is what that space was used for. The other location was the Wythe Hotel, which is like a very nice hotel in Williamsburg. Not Williamsburg Land, just to make sure. It's just plain old Williamsburg.
I gotta.
Those two, like, what? Williamsburg and Williamsburg Land are 2 separate places.
Yes.
One of them
is
that sounds
the
extremely dumb.
One of them is the purveyor of mammal sauce.
Yes. And the other and Williamsburg is an actual real location that is
that doesn't have a time-traveling dog.
That doesn't have a time-traveling dog and was probably one of the first areas of Brooklyn to really gentrify. But that's another story entirely. Also was held in a place literally called the Verboten. The Verboten.
I thought you said Hoboken for a minute.
No, not in Hoboken. We have class. We have a level of class that we will not dip below. We are purveyors of at least a semi-fine product. We're not going to stoop to the level of Hoboken. But no, Mr. German student, yes, literally, Verboten. The most Cunibio fucking name ever.
Yes. It's forbidden. It is forbidden.
It's a nightclub, apparently, most of the time. They just
That's
use
actually
the
a
space.
pretty good name for a nightclub.
Yeah.
Because you think something shady's going on in like the VIP rooms or something.
Yeah, with like the techno and the dubstep, like people are getting fucked to like the beat of the dubstep. Like,
Yeah, in the back, people in the restricted area are like snorting pixie sticks and.
And this is also in Williamsburg, not Land. and the last location is the Brooklyn Bowl, which it's called that because of the bowling alley that has a concert venue.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually a fairly nice concert venue when I finally went there, but it's also a bowling alley.
The only thing I can visualize there is someone like just completely slipping and cracking their head on like the gutter or something like that, because you said it's a bowling alley. Or if you wanted to be more comical, Three Stooges level stuff, they would have the bumpers in there, like in the gutters, to where you'd hit it and you'd bounce back up.
But anyway, those are the 4 locations. But the main area where you get your tickets is in one neighborhood up in a place called Greenpoint. It's the northerlymost neighborhood in Brooklyn, and it's about, I would say, a 15-minute walk away from all those other locations. Fortunately, there was a shuttle bus running between there, but unfortunately, it was the shuttle bus that we got, and that's I'll have to get to that later. But anyway, in this very first meeting, like normal stuff happens, we figure out what we're assigned to, we figure out what the floor plan is, who our captains are, all that stuff. But then we have to do a team building exercise.
Oh, God.
This just sounds awful.
Well, okay. Brace yourselves. There's a reason why I'm drinking right now.
Well, I'll put it this way. I have one of those mobile chairs where not only can you move it, but it also rocks and stuff like that. You can make it lean back. Well, I've got it to where it's not going to do that, so I don't fall out of my chair.
Okay, so we're given spaghetti, like a few pieces of spaghetti, dried spaghetti, out of a box, a single marshmallow, a small length of tape, and a hemp string.
What's this MacGyver shit? What is supposed to happen with all this apparatus?
We're supposed to build a tower. As our separate groups that we've been put into, like there are now a total of 4 groups. Each of our individual groups has.
How much spaghetti do you have?
Not that much. Like I'd say about 5 pieces.
Build a tower?
Okay. So
I actually figured out how. I actually know what you gotta do. I figured out. Yeah, you have the.
You gotta get more. You gotta get more marshmallows. Get more friggin'. You need to.
The marshmallow actually
further resources. That's what you need to do. You're not gonna build a tower out of that shit.
The marshmallow is supposed to indicate like the point where it's like its uppermost point.
Yeah,
like
and then you stick them.
The point that will be measured the highest from, and it needs to. She said these were her exact words, that the tower needs to be freestanding.
Yeah, you can't have anything bracing it like a guy wire.
No, that's exactly what I thought. I was thinking of it in actual architectural terms. Yeah. Like nothing can be bracing it.
This isn't related to being a free inhabitant, is it?
Unfortunately, no, it's not.
Oh.
But
that would actually be funny.
But so one member, at least 2 members of my group, ask the person. Our crew manager, who, for the purposes of this podcast, will be known as Valerie.
You've been watching Archer. You've been watching Archer.
Actually, I got the name from listening to an Amy Winehouse song.
Oh,
okay.
So 2 people in our group asked Valerie if we can just tape the spaghetti and and like stick the thing on top of one stick spaghetti and tape it to a wall, and would that count? And she doesn't. She answers with nothing. And our group is scrambling to complete it because we have like a bunch of different ideas of like how to do. It was one of those things where like it's too many chefs in the kitchen,
Yeah.
And ours is the only one at the end of the day that does not stand. We end up doing like a pyramid based and like stick things upside it, but at the end of the day it slumps over and falls. And after everyone presents their tower and we all say it and we all do the normal spiel about like what we did right and what we did wrong and what we would improve and all that stuff.
Someone decided we should try to tape it to the wall.
No, that's the thing. What her definition of freestanding is that if she was to let go of it, it wouldn't fall. So if it was hanging from the fucking ceiling, if it was hanging from the ceiling or if it was taped to the wall, it would have actually counted.
Wow.
That's so stupid.
That's bizarre.
Don't get people who have, no knowledge of engineering or architecture to ask you to build a tower, because you're going to end up with something that you thought was, satisfactory, but it turns out you could have done something really, really stupid and still succeeded.
No, that's the thing, because I'm thinking freestanding means it can't be braced by something. But
yeah, you can't have friggin' flying buttresses or guy wires out there holding the thing up, or tape it. You can't tape it to a wall, because then it's just an extension of the wall.
Yeah, if it's taped to a wall, it means it's being braced by the wall. If it was hanging from the ceiling, it means that it's being braced by the ceiling. Like, Valerie's definition of freestanding was that it was hanging, was that if you let go of it by hand, it wouldn't fall. That was probably the first sign, the first thing I should have paid attention to realize that this whole thing was going to be a clusterfuck. I did not pay attention to that. And now I'm here on a podcast drinking my fucking guts out.
This is why you don't do team building exercise in New York City. Because when you go somewhere else, you can just give a whole bunch of people some airsoft guns, tell them to go in the forest and, not get shot. Hey, you five are a team. You five are a team. You five are a team. Don't die. Ready, go.
This is very simple. Shoot the other guys and don't get shot. Not this weirdo definition of like freestanding.
Not this freestanding tower that you can actually just tape to the wall. It's fine.
But anyway, it's like that.
We're all freestanding, right? So by extension, the tower is freestanding.
But anyway, like at least that day ended up being nice because then I got to know like the other people I was working with, and we went to a park and we had cheap sushi and we were drinking beer in the park, which technically we're not allowed to do, but fuck the police. And but it was fun. It ended up being fun. That was a good thing. So anyway, there were like two important things that were not mentioned during this meeting.
Of course. Very
important things.
Of course. The more important they were, the least likely they were to be mentioned.
One, what our individual schedules are, what our work schedules are.
That's very important.
And you want to know, is something even worse that was left out? We were given the option of staying in a hotel. For some people, a lot of people, I found that the group that I managed to remember names of, all seem to be from Philadelphia for some reason. But so I don't know how I got all the Philadelphia people, but they actually needed hotels. It's like doing that commute.
I can't go from Philadelphia to New York, and then back to Philadelphia, and then back to New York, and then back to Philadelphia.
Yeah, that commute's gonna. You die. You fucking die.
well, not only that, but then you have the The very real possibility of people breaking into the Fresh Prince theme song.
Yeah, you have to. There's a couple of guys who up to no good started making trouble in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Starting some trouble in your con.
You know,
But-
there was dice in the mirror. Come on.
But anyway, it's like, but you know, me and the other my personal friend Crazy Copeland, who I think is still on K God's Twitter feed. At least I think. I don't know.
He's still on mine too.
That was the main reason I did this, because I was going to do it with him, and we were going to get hotel rooms together, even though we could just commute. We both live in Brooklyn. It's not that the thing was being held in Brooklyn. But we decided to do it because this is technically the first time where we ever stayed in a hotel for a con. And we thought it would be fun.
It's the experience.
Yeah, it was.
I will absolutely say it's an experience.
But so Valerie forgets to mention what the address of the hotel is.
Ah.
So you're
And-
just wandering around with Google Maps or something?
No, we don't even know the name. We don't know. If I knew the number or the address, that would be fine. I could punch it into my fucking phone and find it. I don't know the name of the place.
So you're just wandering around.
No, I can't even go. I go on Friday because I look online on the spreadsheet that were sent, you know, basically just 2 days before the con starts. I finally find out my hours. 2 days ahead of time. I find out my hours, and I find that I am not I am fortunately not one of the people who has to work on a Friday. Because the con's active days are on a Saturday and Sunday. Friday is the setup day.
Right.
I don't technically have to show up on Friday. I show up on Friday later in the day in order to get my badge, because my badge and my shirt, which I am, you know, the little shirt that I'm wearing now, which is so fucking wonderful.
It's the
That
dog.
dog named Tucker. But yeah, so I go there because otherwise I wouldn't be able to get my badge and shirt unless I went super early in the morning, and which would be 7 o'clock in the morning to 7:45 in the morning. And then I find out that my hours start at 7:45, and it's like, okay, those two things are way too close together. I just want to get like the badge and the shirt thing out of the way now, like on the Friday when I don't have any pressure to, like, you know, do a job on my shoulders. That's the day I finally found out where the hotel is, thanks to my friend, Crazy Kogun. He knows because he was placed in a managerial position.
Oh. So they tell all
However-
the good people, and none
Yeah,
of the
but
nuts.
I never got this shit in an email, and I find out later that this hotel, I was thinking that we were going to stay in the Life, which is, you know, it's about 15 minutes walk. You know, 15 minutes walk away from the convention center. But it's a very nice hotel, and it's like, yeah, that got dashed because they don't got the money to keep us in the fucking Life. No, we get sent into a Fairway Inn, a Faradin fucking, I don't know, Faradin whatever the name is.
Fenway Frank.
Yeah, let's go with that. Fenway
The
Frank.
Fenway Frank.
Yeah, and I look at the
Fenway Park is in Boston.
That's one hell of a walk, man.
No, speaking of walk, I look at the address. It's a Queens address.
Huh.
And and it's like, okay, Greenpoint is one of those neighborhoods where it's right on the Brooklyn-Queens border. But the thing is that I timed that walk. I physically timed it. It is half an hour in a straight line.
Ouch.
And I'm up on like the fucking 11th floor, and
Next thing you'll tell me the elevator doesn't work, and
no, the elevator did fortunately work, but that was the other thing that really got messed up. It's like I was told in those Excel spreadsheets that we were getting, I will be bunking with 4 people, and that there would be 2 queen-size beds.
Uh-oh.
That I didn't mind. You know what? I don't honestly mind sharing a bed. Because it was going to be queen-sized.
Yeah.
It was going to be queen-sized. It was going to be queen-sized. But it wasn't.
You got cots, didn't you?
It was they were twin-sized beds.
Really?
Yes,
Ooh.
really.
Like, well, what, did they think there was like some kind of orgy going on in there? I mean,
Like, I sleep
That's
on
who
a
you're
fucking...
banging tonight.
I sleep on a fucking full-size bed, and that's enough. A twin-size bed isn't even enough room for a full-grown fucking adult. And there were 4 full-grown fucking adult men in that fucking room.
like I said, maybe they were expecting some kind of yaoi shit to be going on.
But you know what? Even that fuck-up was not as bad as other people. Some people actually had their days mixed up on the room and couldn't physically enter on that Friday night.
Wow.
One person One person I know who, for the purposes of this, shall be called. Let's see.
Mr. X.
Racer X.
Racer X.
We shall call him Stein. We should call him Stein.
Stein.
No, Stein, as in a beer stein.
There you go.
Like R.L. Stein.
Yes, like R.L. Stein. But,
Yes.
Guy named Stein, who actually was like the oldest person working as a volunteer there, because he's like 39 years old. Actually, second oldest. He got completely screwed out of a room. He couldn't enter his room at all for the whole weekend. Fortunately, he still lived in the city. Unfortunately, he lives in Staten Island.
Oh.
So he needed to take the Verrazano Bridge over for that commute over there, which is that's like a good hour and a half commute.
Good God.
And the toll on the Verrazano Bridge is $15.
Yuck.
I would have been significantly upset. It's like, it takes me, it's just under an hour drive from where I live up to Hartford for Connecticut. And I've done the drive up and down thing before each day, and it's fine. But I would rather stay in a hotel for that. And
Yeah, exactly.
At least I don't have to pay a toll up there. That's insane.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's a bridge toll. So, you need
Yeah.
you're going over a bridge, you gotta pay the fucking toll.
Yep.
It just so happens that, the Verrazano has the most expensive toll in the entire city.
Ouch. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a lot of them up there, aren't there? A toll booth.
Yeah, there are a lot. Like I'll tell you all like the tunnels, like Lincoln Tunnel, Battery Tunnel. They're all tolled, which is why a lot of people take the Brooklyn and Manhattan Bridge because they're completely toll free. The thing is that they close after a certain hour, so you gotta be careful.
Then you got to deal with the predatory toll booths.
Yeah. But let's see. I believe the George Washington Bridge, which connects Manhattan to Jersey, that uses a toll. Triborough uses a toll. So most overwater transport uses a toll. But the Verrazano is the worst of it because it's by far the largest bridge. It used to be the largest suspension bridge in the world at the time of its construction. But
I have not been on the Verrazano in years.
well, the thing is, I only got onto it recently because I need to see relatives upstate. But normally I have no reason to go into Staten Island. In fact, I haven't been directly in Staten Island in years. Even when I was seeing relatives, I drove through it. And you know what? I'm good just driving through Staten Island personally. But that's just me. But yeah, that's kind of honestly like that whole thing. I was a little pissed when I saw like twin beds. Like because I'm 6'3". And it's like I can't move at all if I'm having another person in that bed. But at least I actually got a room.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not just like kind of trying to avoid sleeping out, like in the work area.
Yeah, and then this other guy, but who we will call
Mr. Potato Head.
No, we will call him the investment banker.
The investment banker.
Yes.
So it was like a Wall Street dude.
Mr.
He's not a Wall Street dude, but he lives in Soho. Apparently, he's rich enough to have an apartment in Soho, so just shy of Wall Street. He looks 25. He's 36.
Damn.
And he really does like anime. He pretends that he doesn't like anime in his office to make sure he can get his promotions.
Okay, so
he's hiding his power levels so he can continue,
to get money, to get bank.
If I was that dude, I'd be the biggest asshole in the company. As soon as I got that promotion, all in, balls deep, fucking Gundam figures all
so
over.
So basically, your back wall,
back-
your entire back wall put into an office.
Yeah, like that VZ, that one figure I was talking about, the maid.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of my desk.
Yes.
Just this naked maid figure just sitting on my desk. Like people coming to see me is like, how you doing, Mr.
No apron on either.
No, straight up, just
yes.
all in.
Sit down next to the docky
What are you gonna
cover.
do? Unpromote me?
Yeah, exactly. Sit.
This is who we promoted.
Yeah, and even better, when you have that maid figure, you got to make her hold like a bottle of rye whiskey on.
Yeah, exactly.
I just like the. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I hope you pre-ordered that.
I still need to get on that. Money is an issue.
I still like the idea.
You don't have to pre-order. You don't have to pay for pre-order.
I understand that money is still an issue.
I still like the idea of you having a you just got promoted and like so come into my office and it's just like sit over there by the Dakimakura pile. Like just be completely ridiculous with it.
But anyway, like this guy is kind of like in his own words, for the sake of the office, the only thing he's interested in is basketball and rap music.
Ha.
But he is actually a pretty big, like he likes a bunch of DJs that I never fucking heard of, and he's into down tempo, a little bit of drum and bass, and he actually has some pretty nice musical taste.
Sounds like me if I ever became an investment banker.
And he actually he was nice enough that at least on that Friday night he drove me, Crazy Copeland, and a bunch of other people to the hotel, and in the back of his trunk, he has cases upon not human heads.
I was
gonna say you were in the back of his trunk.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Like he was nice enough, so he put us in the back of his trunk. I would be considerably concerned at that point. They're gonna turn my genitals into wind chimes.
No, in the back of his trunk is it's like fucking Pabst Blue Ribbon, like a case of 30 of that, a fucking Bud Light, a case of 30 of that, like a 6-pack of like Stella Artois cider, and like just more like alcohol upon alcohol upon alcohol. Like the only thing I'd actually be willing to drink out of that whole pile is Pabst Blue Ribbon, and even that is kind of But beggars can't be choosers. So, and he hides it in our room. So he puts this shit in our closet, and he's there for, and like then we go back out and we have some so-so Japanese food in the Queens neighborhood that's right next to where we are, which is Long Island City. And what is it? That's the hotel shuttle, which is different than the con shuttle. Takes us over to one of its locations, and we go over there. We order, and I come back home. you know, I find out, like, one of the things I got was like an udon soup, which is it's a noodle soup.
Yeah, I know.
I find out when I open the shit after I've eaten my my spicy tuna maki rolls is that holy shit, this doesn't have noodles in it. Holy shit, this does not have noodles in it. I'm stirring it around. I'm seeing like bits of egg, and I'm seeing like some cabbage, and I'm seeing like some mushrooms, and it's like, there's no noodles in this.
Udon soup ain't got no udon in it.
Where I paid fucking $15 for this shit.
What?
Holy shit. That's almost as bad. No, actually it's worse, I would say. But that reminds me of recently, one of my buddies got one of those bacon club sandwiches, and it had no bacon on it. None.
Okay. Someone's gonna have to lose their life over that. Sorry. put bacon on the bacon sandwich, please.
Yeah, like how does that even
Someone's
happen?
gonna have to get stomped out as a result.
Well, when we got back, they're like, "You're not gonna believe this shit. There's no bacon on this. It's called a bacon clubhouse."
I'm like fucking yeah. The same thing with that. I'm fucking incredulous over this shit, and it's like. I know this thing. It's like, you know, I just ate my, you know, my spicy tuna maki roll, and it's like, you know, it's not high class sushi. It's still good. It's still something that I appreciated eating at that late hour. But I open my fucking soup. There's no fucking noodles. No on it. I'm like about to fucking cry at this point. Like
I have been robbed.
I'm like short of breath, and I got paid, like, you know, the $15 included those like the sushi maki rolls, and it's like, you know what, at least that was actually worth the money, not this fucking soup with this noodle soup with no noodles in it. It's like I can't.
BZ, hey gods, it's the burger. Without the it's the pizza without the dough.
Yeah.
It's the exact thing.
It's like I was speechless. I literally couldn't say anything there. It was one of those things where I know my head was like turning red like a fucking lobster. And like I was speaking in like fucking tongues and like short stuffed breaths. Like
What the hell is this bullshit?
So yeah, great fucking like prelude to how everything is gonna go over the weekend, huh?
Yes. You're not even told where the place is. Okay.
I find that out later.
Your board is pretty much completely screwed up because you don't have the proper place to actually lay down.
Yeah,
and of course then they fuck up your meal by not giving you the thing you ordered, basically.
Yeah, that was the best thing, is that, you know, when we get up to the bed and we're trying to sleep, it's like I can't move. Of course we're sleeping back to back, and I can't move.
See, I wouldn't even have tried. I wouldn't even have attempted it. I would just sleep on the floor at that point.
Just take the blanket, pillow, and sleep on the floor, and you get into bed.
But
you know, not even that. I have this long ass coat. Use the coat as.
I would have done
blanket.
that if, you know, I can't do the floor. I would have done it if there was a chair in there. You know, like one of those comfy.
There wasn't even a chair in the hotel room.
No.
Ouch.
So we got a beat ass hotel room.
No, now you reminded me of something else about this hotel room. The hotel room had what we all called in the room the retard shower.
What?
The retard shower.
Like what is it, on backwards?
I'm perplexed at the concept of the retard shower. You're gonna have to explain that to me.
Okay, technically what it is it's a handicap shower. It's for people in wheelchairs. There's no partition between the rest of the bathroom and the shower space.
Okay. So like it's one of those bathrooms with just a drain in the middle because the whole place is gonna get wet up with the shower.
Theoretically, yes. The drain.
Okay.
Theoretically.
The drain is not directly in the middle of the tiled floor. It is to the side of the floor, the side where the shower curtain is.
Naturally.
However, I look at the gradient of the floor.
Uh-oh.
The floor slopes away from the drain. Away from the drain.
Okay, this is a question. Did the same person who designed the bathroom space in this hotel, was that the same person who also thinks that a freestanding tower can be taped to the wall?
You know what?
That seems to be that kind of mindset.
You know what? Because Valerie was the person who thought of that team building exercise, and Valerie was also the one who was responsible for all of our bookings.
Oh, that explains everything.
Thank you for the shower.
Was this Valerie person at least cute?
She's a little. I wouldn't call her blue whale. She's a bit more of a mink whale.
Okay.
More like a bride's whale.
A right whale.
No, not even. Sperm whales are too big. We're talking more like like a mink whale.
Yeah.
Like the smallest of the baleen whales.
Yeah,
so like
a more lower middle sized baleen whale.
Yeah, it's still 13. It's still 33 feet long. Though. It's kind of big. It's a little big.
Like we're talking. I'm surprised you're not going into boating metaphors.
She's not a full-size schooner. She's just more like a sloop. Or more like not like an airboat. She's too big for an airboat, but she's too big for a full-size yacht. So she's a sloop.
Not quite a frigate. More like a Corvette.
But anyway. So I'm sleeping basically like the damned. I'm laying on my side. I cannot move.
Just imagine if somebody has to get up and use the bathroom.
I'm the one who elects to shower at night. Personally, I prefer showering day of. But everyone else likes to shower day of, and I decided to be like, you know what? I don't really mind too much showering night before, but I'll just do it so I don't have to deal with the crowdedness in the morning.
Don't want to have that con smell.
Oh,
so I'm sleeping on my side, like with arms pulled into my body, my legs I'm kind of a little bit in the fetal position, and lo and behold, one of my roommates, who we shall call the elephant.
Okay.
We shall call
whales to elephants.
And he snores.
Oh.
Really loudly. Really fucking loudly. I mean, he's kind of a big dude, which is probably contributing to his sinus problems. But like he's making noises I've never heard in my life. Like there's no animal alive or dead. There was a scientist should have been observing this person because he had a new species within his fucking soul. There was like,
I got this visual of you like with a pillow, like putting it over your head, like trying to sleep, like laying down and rolling, and just be like, could you turn it down, Pumbaa?
It's like in the middle of the night, I'm woken up by kind of this sound of what I can only imagine is a flap made out of T-bone steaks being broken by a vicious gust of wind, and it's like I'm probably my eyes are probably look like a crack addict. I'm so fucking bloodshot, and I'm thinking to myself, it's like, why did I decide to go in the hotel? Why did I just go back home?
Yeah.
But okay, so we now roll into the very first day of the class. All of that.
All that was prologue.
That was all prologue. We're now on August 29th.
It's like when you're playing a video game and you finish the whole first level.
Well, hey,
and then the title screen shows up. It's like, hey, that was all a prologue.
Hey, you said August 29th?
Yes, August 29th.
Isn't that the day that things go apeshit in Terminator? I'm serious. Isn't that the day where the nukes go off and they pretty much...
Day.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't it August 29th?
I'm honestly not sure.
I'm not saying they're related. I'm just saying that.
Okay. So
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much connection between not getting the proper udon and Soviet missiles flying around.
So, anyway, I wake. My shift starts at 7:45, so I wake up at like 6. I wake up. I make the bad decision to wake up at 7 o'clock.
Ah, bad move.
And the thing is, this is compounded by, like, I've mentioned the shuttle bus like a few times now. Now I need to actually talk about it.
Let me guess. You got someone that didn't speak English.
Honestly, I wouldn't care about that, as long as they knew the route.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, but or if they were on time, within the error margin of like a half an hour, I wouldn't care.
That's generous. That's fucking generous.
I personally opt for an error margin of like 5 minutes, but like we have to deal with an error margin of about half an hour. That's just the way things go in fucking Waku Waku NYC. That's just the way things go. So I eat the continental breakfast at the fucking hotel, and I'm savoring it, even though it's not all that good, because it's the only free food that we're getting this entire time.
And I'm gonna assume you got all of it.
Yeah, because you know what? That was the thing I didn't realize, is that I thought we were going to be fed.
Oh.
We were not going to be fed, and I barely brought any money with me.
Oh.
And so I'll just say I made great use of the fact that the lobby had a hot water dispenser to buy fucking cup noodles at, because that was my fucking dinner.
There we go.
Ooh.
But anyway, yeah, I'm living that real otaku life. Living that real fucking authentic otaku life. Eating that fucking cup noodle dinner in front of a fucking computer screen. Anyway, so I'm eating the bagel and pancakes and sausage. And our time for the bus is supposed to run once every half hour. And I need to catch this bus because I actually do that walk later on in the day to find out just how far it is. It's a half an hour walk. It's a good half an hour walking quickly. And my very long ass legs, where I can, I walk fairly quickly. And it's a half hour. So I don't want to start my working from 7:45 until 4:30 doing that. Bus is late. Bus is
naturally
8 o'clock passes.
Oh.
You're standing out there just like, really?
And it's like, by this point the bus is basically over 30 minutes late. And finally a yellow school bus comes. That's our shuttle bus.
What?
Was it one of the small buses?
No, it's not a small one. It's a long ass fucking yellow ass.
That's even worse.
Fucking.
And the best part about it, she doesn't know the route.
Oh.
Like, this just sounds like one disaster after the other, man.
The thing is that the route from the hotel to the con, if I'm to say anything about its location, at the very, very bare minimum least, it is a straight line. That's the only thing good about it. She manages to fuck that up. She goes down a side street.
Ugh.
A side street where we're trapped behind a garbage truck. And mind you, we're in a school bus. There's no turning in this fucking side street because we take up the exact width of the street. So we're trapped behind the garbage truck. And we need to wait. We need to wait for it to move.
This is fucking worse than an R.L. Stein book.
I can't. And we finally make it back onto the main avenue. We drive over there, and we finally make it there. And you know what? By the time I'm there, I can't even sign out because that time has passed. We're now not allowed in if we don't have to be in there because they have to do the opening ceremony. So I just put my shit down in front of the booth where I'm supposed to be, because that's the thing about the Brooklyn Expo Center, is that there's an indoor area and there's an outdoor area. And that outdoor area where we have tents set up, and that's where the food is set up, and that's where people have to enter in first before they want to go anywhere else to get their tickets. And unlike New York Comic Con, they have to, you can actually, buy tickets there. Like, it isn't that fucking busy, But, so I go there, and you know what? That's actually doing my fucking job is probably the easiest part of the whole experience. I have an easy fucking job. I have a tablet, which I later find out is like some kind of hacked Android technology. But you take the people printed out a barcode, I scan the barcode, and I give them a ticket. And I throw in the niceties of being a good host. It's like, hello, good morning, how are you doing? What are you here for? I hope you have a good evening. I hope you have a good weekend.
As opposed to just freaking out and go, do you realize I was fucking trapped behind a garbage truck trying to get here?
No, that's yeah. I could have said, I could have told people that, and then there was a bit of a learning curve, however, because there were a few people who got VIP tickets.
Oh.
And the funny thing about that is that for VIP people, for the people who bought the VIP tickets, which I
Very
believe
important person people.
Yeah, I believe were over $200.
Very irritated penises.
$200.
No, I'll get that in a second about the pricing. The people who were on the pre-reg line who got the VIP tickets, we escorted them personally into the con, into a back room where they got their VIP ticket.
That sounds incredibly suspicious.
Yeah, that sounds really sketchy. People in suits and shades.
And then, no, actually,
carrying around like a tiny briefcase that folds out into a submachine gun.
We did actually have security in there, of course, but they were just, people wearing black polos and black pants.
And they weren't armed.
Fortunately not. No, they were just armed with their girth.
So they were robust individuals.
Yeah, so they get the ticket, and then they get these special wristbands that allow them to cut lines.
Ooh.
And then I find out later they actually have a fucking lounge, the VIP people, that they get to stay in.
Okay.
And we need to escort them. And I have no clue because, by the time I found that out, other people were doing the escorting. But, anyway, about the pricing. It's basically a New York Comic Con price. It's like just about $10 less.
Mm.
So about like 40.
It was 50 for a single adult.
Okay.
But honestly, that was something I did find out that was a pretty big customer complaint. But the thing is, I was kind of expecting that, for the fact that NYCC, in the area of Manhattan that it is in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's basically in a very industrial half of the island. The Brooklyn Expo Center and all the other locations, the fucking nightclub, the fucking hotel, and the fucking bowling alley / music venue, are all in very trendy areas of Brooklyn.
Oh, let me guess. So you were basically in hipster HQ because it is Brooklyn.
It's Williamsburg and Greenpoint. Of course, it's hipster HQ.
The Hive.
Oh boy. Oh, boy.
The Borg.
Yeah, but you know, the people coming there were really not. They were not the hipster sort. They were, you know, anime fans. That's what they were. But that's why the fact that it was expensive really didn't surprise me. It's in the places are in trendy areas of Brooklyn that have really high real estate value.
Right.
So
They take advantage of that.
That, and they probably need to pay the rental. They probably need to pay the rent on it.
Exactly.
And speaking of prices for the exhibitors, I was told that a single exhibitor had to pay $1,500 in order to be an exhibit there.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Were there any?
Better make some sales.
Are there any Were there any interesting guests at this thing?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
But so that was one thing. That was a complaint that I expected. The complaint that I think had really no excuse behind it was the lack of ATMs in the Expo Center.
Oh, that's just a bad call.
The thing is, there actually were physically ATMs in there.
They just didn't work?
No, the problem was that originally they were going to have multiple entrances in, and in these other entrances are where the ATMs are. They closed off these entrances for God knows what reason, and because of that, the ATMs were in these closed off areas, so you can go to them. In a small silver lining, it's better than if you were in NYCC, because in there you're a few avenues away from basically anything resembling civilization. And if that place didn't have ATMs, you would be really out of fucking luck. Here, there's like, you know...
Yeah, the Jacob Cab Center is basically a giant tomb. You can't get cell phone reception.
Yeah, it's a tomb for your fucking cell phone. Exactly. It's filled with like chaff or some shit. I don't know. But at least where the Expo Center is, it's like, you know, it's in a place that's actually habited, and like it's just one avenue away from the main avenue where the train runs. So it's like, you know, there are corner stores around that have ATMs, but still, there really needs to be an ATM within the dealer's area. That's just fucking common sense.
Seriously.
As for the people coming in, I will say this much. There was a larger concentration of something that I appreciated, is that there was a larger concentration of cosplayers attending.
Right.
In fact, some of them were actually part of, let me pull it up for a second, my little pamphlet, an event that was happening on the Saturday, sponsored by NHK World, Tokyo Above Underground Fashion Show. So some of them were professional cosplayers.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you know like in the elegant goth lolly sort of stuff.
Was Yaya Han there? Because she's a professional.
She might have been, honestly. Let's see. No, not that I'm seeing. Oh, speaking of special, and now since I got to that, let's mention guests. I will admit, they had some pretty strong guests for the very first con. I have like the little pamphlet saying the people. I mean, the one that everyone knew, of course, was KG Inafune.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Mighty Number 9 was available to play a few levels if you want. So, you know, another friend of mine completely from college actually came as a guest, and that was actually the entire reason why he wanted to come, was just to play Mighty Number 9. he played. He was satisfied. He was happy.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, Takao Koyama, screenwriter of Dragon Ball Z. Makoto Koyama, screenwriter of Saint Seiya Omega, Dragon Ball Super. Justin Cook. Let's see. Sebastian Matsuda, artist, creator of the concept 6% Doki Doki. The other big guest, Taku Takahashi, aka the guy who did the soundtrack for Pantheon Stocking, aka the creator of Me Me Me,
that guy.
aka M12.
I think he just came out with a new thing.
Yeah, I've been reading it on Facebook. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm gonna at some point.
Oh, I actually saw not that one, but the one from those animation things, the animation whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I saw the Ultraman one. That was actually pretty decent. It was actually pretty good. I still love the Gridman one. That was still the best. That thing was amazing. But yeah, continuing on.
See, as for the other artist people, there was another DJ by the name of Keiichiro Nakajima, Taku Takahashi, and this guy, and another woman by the name of Yunchi, who was idol sort of person. They were performing in the Brooklyn Bowl, which I found out that was on Sunday, and I found out, by the way, that you actually needed to pay an extra $10 in order to get to there.
Not too bad.
No, it's not.
Like if I was really pumped about seeing these people, it'd be no problem for me.
Let's see. The model people, Yuta. Let's see. Yuta first model for the Harajuku fashion magazine Keta. Okay. Another model by the name of Haruka Kube Bayashi. A fashion designer.
Oh boy, Harajuku. That's like if you ever see like any pictures of Japanese girls wearing the most outrageous fashion.
Yeah.
That's usually where it comes from.
Yeah, that was also the reason for like all the goth lolly or elegant goth lolly girls as well. You know, they were part of the fashion show.
Right.
But also another there was also the idol. There was also that little idol thing, and they were also parading NHK's mascot because he was one of our major sponsors as the NHK. Was
that Domo-kun?
Yeah, Domo-kun. They were parading him around. We were expressly forbidden from looking into his dressing room.
Armed guards outside the dressing, like people with halberds outside the dressing room door.
Not halberds, naginatas. You got to keep it Japanese. I
get too close, they cross them over the door and just shake their head at you.
Just like people guarding like the Vatican or something like that.
But I created this running joke with all the guys I was talking to that we need to, if you were to cut open Domo-kun, he would bleed Nutella. And like his organs would be like dark chocolate, and we need to harvest him and like consume him.
Sounds absolutely disgusting.
Yes.
And we would become him. Oh, and for VZ in particular, or really their mother, they had the two pair from Dining with the Chef there.
Oh, nice. I'll.
They were performing a live demo.
Did they have what was it? It was the woman and the guy with the deep voice.
Yeah, they had the guy in the lab coat and the.
The Japanese guy and the.
And Yu Hayami. Chef Saito and Yu Hayami. Not the white dude and the Japanese girl.
Yeah, I still like the one they had the I call it the Twinkie. The one that was like Polish Canadian, half that and half Japanese. Forgot her name.
Well, I haven't watched that much of Dining with the Chefs. I only know like Chef Saito and like the white dude and the Japanese.
Yeah. I
But
just
they
call
had
him
a-
the Twinkie.
Okay.
Yeah.
They had an autograph signing with Keiji Inafune.
Was there like any like yelling of things like food, just screaming?
Well, I do know for absolute fact that there was a brief moment where he lost his translator.
Oh.
Hmm.
He's lost in America, no translator.
Someone help me.
Just like
The only English word I know how to say is Rockman. But yeah, I would say that those were like the two really big guests would be Taku Takahashi and Keiji Inafune, as well as Justin Cook as well.
the last name is of course somewhat fitting. Cook.
Yeah.
Yes.
But see, anything else I want to say about the Saturday, because I think as far as going as a guest, the dealer room was nice. It was actually quite nice for a first time.
Aha.
There are two things, however, that you really need to kind of go and like just keep it in. Technically, this place is called a pop culture festival, not a con.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, one, they're kind of light on the figures.
Mm.
Right.
And two, they're a little light on the H stuff. In fact, when I say light, basically completely non-existent. I'm guessing the NHK decided not to do that.
And so there kills K-God's interest in this con at all.
No.
The game,
I'm out of here.
but the game section, which was entirely thanks to probably the best brick and mortar video game salesman in New York. Video Games New York, yes, that's the name. It's really unimaginative, but they're really cool people.
I was gonna say highly creative.
Yeah, and it's the height of like creative thought, that name. They were the ones who were entirely responsible for creating the games area. And they actually put out a decent spread. Dodonpachi was one of the games, so you can get your bullet hell action on. Some Japanese-only Sailor Moon beat 'em up on the SNES.
Oh yeah. I've seen that before. I'm not surprised we didn't get that.
Galgun.
Of course, Galgun.
Oh, I would love to play that.
You sound like you have asthma.
Are you squeeing? Did you squee?
Yes, I did.
The squeeing.
Instead
of the ceiling, the squeeing.
They gotta put that on the. They gotta put that on the iOS and make it. Yeah. All right. Just tap the screen and shoot.
Let's see what else. They had a Senran Kagura game. I don't know which one.
Burst maybe.
It was on a PS3. So.
Oh. I'm not sure.
And Under Night in Verse EXE Late, for which of course, and also Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax. The light novel crossover fighting game.
Yeah,
right.
Where you can choose to put Kirino as your training dummy and just beat the shit out of them. I say that because I think you'll be interested in that Anubis.
Do they have ISA? Because if they have ISA, I'm ordering that game right now.
For the most part, they keep
out.
No, unfortunately, they really keep it to one character per franchise.
Damn.
And ISA, I think, is an assist.
Why would I want ISA to assist me?
I can just see Anubis though sitting there, stupid rich bird. Just like getting all angry and like.
Yeah, ISA is an assist. But
yes, she is indeed assist.
Yeah, I need her to.
She is a cancer.
A malignant.
I need her to assist me in pushing her over a bridge. But yeah, of course, with the fighting games, the lines weren't long, but the people who came over there were like really into it. Of course, they bought their.
I remember
loud laughing and shit.
I remember this was like almost like 10 years old, but at the Manga Next, the con that in New Jersey.
Yeah.
They had some really nice games there that I played. I remember I tried the SNES the SNES Rama 1/2 game. This Japanese only Sega Saturn game called Pretty Fighter X, which is basically like take every cosplay fetish type of character, and those are your characters. So you got like the schoolgirl, you got the athletic girl, you got the maid, you got a nun,
like the muscular.
Well, yeah, like that type of athletic, that's what I mean.
Yes. Okay.
And the N64 Ava game. And
see, that's Anubis's like grail there. It's like that was. I actually
beat the level where you fight Ramil.
Mm-hmm.
The not the cube, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, the
diamond.
Yeah. And yes, you have to do exactly where you have to shoot just right at the moment.
Yeah, that's when they get the power from the whole
from the whole
right?
Japan.
Yes.
Right. I can never
space shuttle as a shield.
Yes. But I can never remember the names of them, unfortunately. I can just remember the general idea what they do.
I remember Seychel.
I thought it was Sachiel, or I don't know.
I usually call it Sachiel. I don't actually know how they're pronounced.
It's the thing.
They don't really say them in the show, do they?
Yeah.
Not a lot.
No.
They do with a couple of them, I think.
Yeah. Hey, Anno, get off your ass and finish 4 already.
We'll be waiting. You'll be waiting on that one.
Then you can make your Godzilla.
He's too busy getting pain meds.
But anyway, of course, like the other thing that was in the arcade, that was in the game section, but wasn't, due to Video Games New York, who are, if anyone decides to make a trip out to the city, I would highly recommend going there. It's a really cool place. They have not paid me for this, by the way. I wish they. The other thing that was there, not because of them, was of course Mighty Number 9. I had like a nice big line, of course, attached to it. There's a lot of people interested in it, and I finally got a chance to look at it, and it's like, my God, even his running animations are fucking same. Holy shit!
No Idolmaster there, I imagine.
No.
Well, you could buy Idolmaster games from Video Games New York's own booth.
I was actually just going to say you could probably buy them there,
but you couldn't play them. But otherwise, in the dealer's room, it's a lot of the standard stuff. But one thing of note that I personally saw, and that I probably would have bought if I actually had money with me at the moment, is that on the Aniplex booth.
Yeah.
They had the Love Live character CDs.
Ooh.
Oh no, that's not Aniplex. You mean NISA?
No, they were sold on the Aniplex booth.
Oh, all right.
If they were done by someone else, I don't know, but they were on that booth.
Okay.
But yeah, they had the character CDs on there. It's like, holy shit! I would probably buy Nico's if I had some money on there right now.
But no, I had to buy udon and it not be good.
Yeah, I had to buy udon that didn't have udon in it. Like, excuse me, I thought that udon noodle soup.
Which one did you want, Nico?
Nico and probably Nico Nozomi. Oh God, what's the red-haired one's name?
Maki.
Maki, yeah.
My personal favorite.
But yeah, they actually had a nice selection. They also had this really cute capybara code spelled out like all in katakana-esque words. It was a stuffed capybara. I thought it was nice. But,
let me guess. Image Anime was there.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, of course they're there.
And of course, Funimation is there because Justin Cook's there.
Yeah. So they had to mention they gotta be there.
But it was if you were to ignore the fact that one, it's light on figures, and two, it's light on age stuff. You know what? The light on age stuff I can forgive more, but the light on figures I find a bit more problematic.
Yeah.
But even still, there are some interesting things there. But something that surprised me, that legitimately surprised me, because I got an hour break, and that was the time I used to kind of scout the con. The food there is worth getting.
Huh.
Just not the udon.
No, the udon was a completely unaffiliated restaurant.
I know. I'm just being a dick.
No, just don't get the udon. You never go full udon. Never. But
no, you really didn't.
yeah, I wanted to go full udon. I couldn't.
You wouldn't let me.
You wouldn't let me. But more than being worth getting, it's legitimately good.
Wow.
And that is mainly because, once again, it's not a con. It's a pop culture festival.
Figures.
Which means that they're actually interested in putting food around.
So let me get this straight. If we start changing the basically the names of these places to stuff like that, we're gonna get better food.
Possibly.
Yeah, but we also have to take away all the age stuff.
Yeah, and
yeah,
I'm fine ordering pizzas and burritos and shit at the hotel room.
And all kinds of.
I just want my porn.
Yeah.
So I'm 100% a-okay with going somewhere else for my food. Just give me hentai.
Unfortunately, no hentai was there.
Yeah.
So we couldn't hear at any, get your young boys here or anything like that.
Or any of those wonderful taglines they like to throw out.
Or, Manga Gamer wasn't there, so we couldn't construct additional pylons that covered up, vital areas in front of Dakimakura girls. But anyway, concerning the food, I was surprised to find, because, this is something that I follow as a foodie, is that, particularly good restaurants in the city to get, good ramen or, good yakitori or other such things. Lo and behold, I find restaurants putting in booths, and these restaurants have gotten accolades.
Damn.
They've been praised in newspapers and magazines for really good food, for some of the best in the city of its type, and it's holy shit, you can actually eat well here in a fucking con.
As opposed to getting dubious Japanese snacks you've never had before.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can do without the Pocky for the rest of my fucking life. I'm gonna go on record and say I don't like Pocky.
I don't mind.
I had Pocky for the first time in years plural, a week ago, and it's all right. Really not the kind of thing I'd eat all the time, and definitely not chocolate. because I'm all set with chocolate for now. I got enough chocolate in my life.
Yeah,
Jason
so
says he
I love
was-
the one. I love the one that's called what is it? Men's Pocky.
yeah, it's a little thicker. That's what makes it mad.
I was about to say.
It's dark chocolate. That's
Yeah,
why.
it's dark
Oh,
chocolate.
ew.
Because
That's
women
disgusting.
aren't allowed to have dark chocolate.
You know what? I'll stick with women's Pocky then.
Okay, yeah.
Sounds absolutely disgusting.
But so what is it? My shift ends. Later on in the day, and that is actually the point where because I knew from that morning that because that shuttle was so goddamn bad, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna walk. I don't care how long it takes me, I'm gonna walk. And that's where I find out that it's exactly half an hour to walk from the con to the hotel. I wait there for a little while, and because I'm fucking broke, everyone else is gonna go to the forbidden place.
Yes.
And have drink their fucking livers into oblivion.
Their foo-foo drinks and whatever.
And I decide not to go because if there's one thing that is the saddest in this entire universe, it is being in a nightclub with no money in your pocket.
Yeah.
That's when you get the dollar out and you got to try to do the thing with the fishing lure.
The Al Bundy. I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Put it online.
Yeah. And then I have my wondrously nutritional dinner of of instant noodles that I warmed in the fucking lobby of the hotel with a hot water dispenser. And thanks to the kindness of the people who I was with, including a few cute Asian girls.
There we go.
Including our youngest attendee, who was 19.
Were they really 19 or were they anime 18, 19?
No, they were. She was
18 years old and going to a 4-year vocational college.
2 years vocational college. Thank you.
Yes.
No, she was legit 19. She's also Thai, but that's beside the point. But we also, so due to the kindness of strangers, I get to have Chinese takeout. I mentioned to all the guys who were who were all either Korean or Chinese. It's like I mentioned them that I find it so strange when when Chinese people get shitty American Chinese takeout, and they were saying yeah, it really is strange. And it's around that time that I actually find out that a lot of the people working here have worked at least one con before. In fact, there are a lot of veterans. A lot of people have worked either Anime Next or NYCC. Some people have actually worked Kineticon.
Oh.
Valerie worked Anime Boston.
Huh.
And
Okay.
Don't ever judge anything that Anubis builds.
Remind me to never friggin' volunteer at AB then.
and some people have even been at Otakon and AX.
Damn. Traveling.
Otakon, at least for me, is feasible because that's in Boston. Because that's in Baltimore.
Baltimore,
I was
yeah.
about to say it.
Is it in Boston? They moved it?
No. I can go to Anime Boston too. That's feasible as well.
Yeah.
No, you're thinking of Otakon.
No, yeah, but even Boston is feasible too because it's about a 5-hour drive.
Oh no, I was just saying.
I would take the train. Right,
Otakon is the one that they're.
Fuck
you can
driving
fuck-
to Boston. Fuck driving in Boston. Fuck driving back from Boston.
You can fuck your train. You can fuck your train with the biggest dick.
You know what? Amtrak's got my back. I'm all set. I'ma just put my bag down, open my laptop, and by the time that episode of Gundam Unicorn's over, hey, we're in Boston. cross
No,
the
but-
street, and it's indoors the rest of the way. I don't have to drive. I don't have to pay for gas. I don't have to drive in Boston and actively endanger my life every second I'm behind the wheel.
Yeah, but I would be driving in New York City. What's like I live in the city driving. It's like there's no way Boston can be worse. I'm sorry.
Listen to me. All right, listen. It's worse. You don't think it can be worse? It's worse. It's worse. People in Boston don't care. Not give a goddamn.
Gods, I believe you said something that everyone thinks that their own city drives the worst.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, because remember I had that the little clip where we were talking about idiots going the wrong way down one ways.
Yep.
Where I sound like I'm completely out of it.
Here, you want to go ahead? You want to drive to Boston? You go right ahead and prove me right.
Anybody got a moped?
Nah, I'm good at the moment.
You can put your Dakimakura in the sidecar.
I need to get my driver's license first, so I can't do that physically. But so as for that night, it's like and people with the con experience are kind of criticizing it for the fact that I find out from them that the management of this stuff was kind of assigned pseudo randomly. Like some people who have no con experience were placed in managerial positions.
Nice.
So what did they do? Just like draw straws or something?
I have no fucking clue what Valerie does in her free time.
Yeah, the dartboard where the blindfolded guys just like bloop.
I don't know. Maybe Valerie spends her time eating Cheetos. I don't fucking know.
Filtering them through their baleen.
Yeah, through her fucking baleen. So
it's so mean.
Yeah, that's why I'm using a pseudonym. That's why I'm not calling her by her real name. And quite frankly, she screwed me over one too many times, and I'm kind of at the point of not caring about it. So
maybe this person has a Twitter we can look at.
I think she does.
Because then maybe
don't get any ideas.
But I'm not going to say her real name on one of the.
Well, no.
So, but anyway, so apparently something that the exhibitors were complaining about, I hear from them. Besides, this whole managing screw up of people with a lot of con experience, who've been to fucking AX, being placed in grunt positions, or who've been to NYCC multiple times, being placed in grunt positions. That. Oh shit! What did happen?
Alzheimer's happened.
Yeah, Alzheimer's happened. That's what's happening right now to my phone. Well, apparently, I was smart in not taking that bus because that bus was apparently over 45 minutes late.
Yeah.
And that bus was completely undependable for shoving people around the various locations.
I can just see you sitting there, just like fuck that bus.
I didn't even wait for the bus. I knew that bus was going to be horrible, given that experience in the morning. It's like, you know what? I don't care. I'm walking. I don't care how much.
I'll still get there faster.
I don't care how much my feet fucking hurt. I'm walking. Fuck all of you.
Are we on day 2 yet?
I'm about to cover into day 2, but there's less to cover in day 2 because Sunday was really slow.
Okay.
Sunday's always slow.
I want to wrap this up by 12.
Well, even besides my story being done, don't you also have?
Oh, I know.
Third segment.
Yeah, but anyway, so I sit out the whole nightclub experience because I don't have the money to, even though I would love to.
Because it was forbidden.
Yeah, because it was forbidden. because it was forbidden, and now I don't associate with Chunibyo's. Anyway, so I'm sitting upstairs with like with a Windows tablet that was lent to me. I can't even use the Windows tablet, by the way, because lo and behold, it's BitLocker locked.
Ah.
And I'm calling the guy who was lent to me from. Doesn't remember it. So I had to use my phone for like all my internet needs. So I'm upstairs looking at my fucking tiny ass Android phone. Let me get this shit.
This is just the this con story I've ever heard.
Look at this thing. It's like, look at how large this thing is. Like, I'm looking at this tiny ass fucking screen, and I'm trying to keep up to date, with my do-da-da-da, and I'm trying to keep up to date with my Charlotte, I'm trying to keep up to date with my Idolmaster. And I'm watching it on like this tiny ass screen, like with a fucking cup noodle next to me on the desk, and it's like, and I'm completely alone in the hotel room because either they haven't gotten off work or they're at the club, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
The saddest thing.
So they get home like, after fucking like 11:30. After, trying to drink, and apparently it didn't even work out that well. No one got laid, no one drank that much. So it was altogether unsuccessful. So we basically go to sleep. And I get to hear the serenading sounds of the elephant. Again that night. So
I'm still getting that visual of you having that pillow wrapped around your ears, just like, fuck!
So I'm still, like, sleep deprived in the morning. I make the better decision to wake up at 6:45. The bus is working better to this day, on Sunday.
Of course, the last day.
But this is only because one person from the crew is standing on it the whole goddamn day.
Fucking kidding me.
Talking on a walkie-talkie. That was the other thing that the con veterans were talking about. No one knew how to use the fucking walkie-talkie. There was no training. No one was trained to use the walkie-talkie.
How do you not know how to use a walkie-talkie?
Were they all on the wrong channels? Yeah, we're on channel 12.
No, everyone was on the same channel as the problem.
Oh, so they were just stupid.
It was basically a cacophonous noise that was like.
Oh, it's not that they didn't know how to operate. It's that everyone was trying to talk at the same time, huh?
Everyone was trying to talk at the same time, and also, some of the veterans were saying there was lacking in walkie-talkie etiquette. Like,
there's a reason people go over. There's a reason people go out.
Like, or saying your location or things like that.
Wow.
So there's this one person, actually Crazy Komoon. He was the brave soul who was standing on that bus for a good half of that day until he switched off with someone else. Because but even better on the Sunday is that that was the other thing, is that things were poorly set up in this con. That was something that was a complaint from the exhibitors, is that the aisles were a bit too wide, which made it look empty.
Mm.
And also something I observed with the food is that basically all the food is set up instead of in the center on a back fence. And it's like you could see the front line, but then when I go up closer, there's an aisle in the middle saying advertising other stuff, and it's like, wait, there's other people behind there? I didn't know that. I walked behind there, it's like, holy shit, there's a bunch of other like food stalls back here. I wasn't told about this. I didn't know about this. I couldn't even see this.
Well, do you really expect a place that an organization and situation that didn't even tell you where the damn thing was to tell you there's food behind there?
They didn't tell you what hotel you were in.
Yeah, so that was the wonderful thing that we the pre-reg crew were doing on Sunday, is that we were outside of the convention center, handing out flyers, trying to tell people that yes, there is actually food behind the other line of food. Why they couldn't just set up the food in the middle, in a circle or a square in the middle, and have the people and have the dining seating in the back. Lord knows.
I don't know. You would think if you're a food kiosk or whatever the hell you want to call it, that you would be set up, in a kind of a central location.
No, that's exactly it. It's like it should be. I mentioned that to one of my superiors. It should be in a central location.
I mean, it's like Dunkin' Donuts, like at the airport. You don't just stick it in the corner somewhere.
It's like, and it's one of those things of like, how people, the science of like how a crowd moves. It's like, if you stick like an island or like, or something in the middle of a large crowd, people will walk around it. Or people will tend to walk in a circle around it. And people will then know. And, you just stick things in the back of a fucking fence and put an aisle and hope people see. It's like, oh, there's some shit down there. Like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that the whole first fucking day.
This has got to be the beatest con setup I've ever heard of in my life. Except maybe for DashCon.
Yeah.
No, you just reminded me of something.
Oh.
All those veterans, all those con veterans, apparently have a bit of an inside joke among stuff.
That should be good.
They said their byword for a bad con is ball pit.
Ha!
They were saying that this con was not ball pit bad, but not great.
Ouch.
Apparently, that is actually a thing amongst people who run cons. Ball pit.
I'm not surprised though. DashCon was a beautiful disaster. Absolutely, like poster child for badly run convention.
Well, as soon as we learned about it, that it was going to be Tumblr, the convention.
Yeah, exactly.
We were like, this can't possibly end well.
There's nothing good that's gonna come out of this except jokes.
That's exactly why they use it as a byword. It's like not just the ball pit, of course, an event that goes poorly, but just a lack of planning at events or a lack of events. But anyway, with that little aside out of the way, we're handing out fucking flyers. I'm handing out fucking flyers. And it's hot outside. It's really fucking hot outside. And I'm by the fucking train station. And the thing is that no one is really interested except the people who already knew about the con and were asking, hey, where is it? It's like, which direction do I walk to? It's like, it's down the street and then 2 blocks this way. It's like, okay. And it's like, thank you for coming to the con. It's like, you don't even. I'm not gonna I'm like in 9 in the morning on a Sunday, and it's just old folk walking around, and it's like, these people are not gonna be fucking interested.
They don't know what Strike Witches is.
It's like, I don't even think these people know what Dragon Ball Z is. So let's. And then, I'm also handing out flyers closer to the convention center, but this one actually has a bit more purpose. It's to tell people that the food, you don't need a ticket to get that food. You just need to go in and buy it yourself.
It's not like it's supposed to be like clandestine,
Need a password.
The password is swordfish.
I'm telling people that, and it's like, I'm not sure if it was a good or bad thing for me to finally go back to the desk, because when I finally go back to the desk, it's like it's the last day, and it's like I've already given all the people who wanted weekend tickets, got their tickets already yesterday, plus all the Saturday only people. Now it's a Sunday only people, and it's like now, so it's
all 5 of them.
Yeah, it's so slow. There's less events today too, and I'm like half falling asleep at the fucking desk, and that was an interesting. Like that was when I'm scanning like these things, the things that were the easiest to scan were either people who printed out the barcode or people who received a physical ticket. The worst was people who had their barcodes directly on their phones.
Yep.
And it's like, no, it cannot be just a screen cap image of it. You gotta put it to the email, and it's like telling people, it's like, you gotta access your account and see my tickets, and it's like, and that takes 5 fucking minutes, and it's like maybe the scan will work, maybe it won't. It's like turn up the brightness a little bit, and so the people who brought in physical things to scan were fucking bosses. That was awesome. The people who had the fucking cell phone to scan is like, oh, please, why are you doing this to me? But anyway, Sunday passes basically without much incident, except at the very end.
Uh-oh.
So these security guards, near the end of the Con closes at 5 on Sunday. They're like pushing people out, basically. Not physically, but they might as well be, considering how forceful they were being, apparently. One person was, texting or calling someone, and the security guard said to him, you gotta move it. And he said to him, like, oh, can you wait 1 second? And okay, I should probably said this before, but this is one thing where I'm kind of not certain if I should or should not be saying it, but considering I'm not saying any names, I think I'm in the clear. But he said, then the security guard says to him, like, no, you got to leave right now. And basically, I don't know what has changed and where it's happened. Apparently, the security guard physically shoved him.
Oh. Bad call.
The security guard was the first to initiate violence. Because shoving, even if it's a light shove, can technically count as assault.
Yep.
The guy shoves him back.
Oh boy.
Long story short, he gets dogpiled.
By the security?
By the security. Apparently there's a kick in the head involved too. Thing is, I'm out. I've been out of the expo center. That concert whole thing. I've been helping guests set up for that in the Brooklyn Bowl. I finally come back around like a little after 5.
It was a little Spanish flea.
But then by the time I come back, I see the fucking police outside. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Otaku Lives Matter just happened.
So anyway, apparently the police were like, the guy's trying to explain his side of the story, and it's like, the police basically tell him to shut up.
Shut up.
And it's like, this shit really should not be happening.
Yeah.
It's like, regardless of who was following orders or not, or who initiated violence or not, the security guard apparently initiated violence first. It's like, security guards are not cops.
No.
They don't
have the right to do that shit.
They don't act independently of a place where they're, patrolling. They're representing us. They're representing everyone at the con by their behavior. And like they shove someone, and it's like it reflects badly upon the con.
Not only that, but it's like mall cop Paul Blart jokes.
And you know what? It's like, in that legal area of like, you have to listen to what the security guard says. I understand that, but at the same time, it's like, A certain level of restraint has to be practiced. You're not a
people in the
cop.
head.
It's like you're not a fucking cop. It's like if you shove people around, people because you're a security guard, not a cop. People are of course going to associate that with the gun. We look bad because of that.
Security guards.
And I'm putting aside my own feelings of like, whether it was wrong or not. Newsflash, I thought it wasn't all that cool. But it was not good. It was not good. It really was not good. And the reason why I say that I was a little concerned about saying it was because there was this other guy who literally has 6 fingers.
Whoa.
He has a bit of a flamboyant voice, and he's Dominican. Actually, sorry. He's ever so slightly flaming, and he's Puerto Rican. Sorry, he's not Dominican.
So slightly flaming.
Yeah, you all but dropped his name. Like, how many 6-fingered, Puerto Rican guys are you gonna run across, like, just at a con?
But anyway, okay, perhaps I shouldn't have said that. But
I think Anubis is losing his shit.
I find out from him. He's the person who tells me because he witnessed it firsthand. And technically, when we signed out on the last day, we were supposed to leave, like a constructive criticism or like, a response as to how to better the con.
Don't kick people in the head.
I had like a laundry list of shit, but I kept it to 2 things. He left because he was like so upset by the whole thing. Where it's like, you know what? No, fuck it. Peace. I want to wash my hands of you people. And Valerie basically was telling him, she didn't say it exactly, but she might as well have said, shut up. Like, you can't talk about this. But anyway, to leave off on the story, what I write down as my constructive criticism is that, 1, you need to provide food for us that we don't have to pay for. That was the big thing that annoyed me this whole time. I work my normal thing is as a banquet waiter, and it's like if we're working over a certain period of hours, we provided a staff meal.
Yeah.
And you know what? I could take not being paid if we got a staff meal. Because you know what? When we have to pay for our own food, we're not profiting anymore. And that was something that really annoyed me.
We give you this money, but you got to give us back to us.
Pretty much.
What a wonderful scam.
And the other thing that I mentioned, of course, was the hotel. And the fucking, the fucking retard shower, that after someone took a shower, the whole floor was wet and was pooling up around the toilet because the gradient wasn't built properly.
Because some moron didn't set it up properly.
The same person who thinks a freestanding tower leans against the adjacent wall also built the floor that slopes away from the drain.
Yeah, and this person apparently thought that it was, a good idea to, build a floor and not have a liquid level around. So, at the end of the day, about Waku Waku NYC, would I work there again? Hell to the fuck no.
You're here.
What about just going there?
Just going there. There are a few things you have to keep in mind when going there. One definite negative is that this year there were no ATMs. I honestly think they're going to fix that because that's so stupid that I don't think that they're going to keep that. Then you have to keep in mind the lack of figures and the lack of age stuff in the showroom. And this is something that you either think is an absolute bad thing or that you just don't mind. Is that there's a nice amount of walking distance between the many venues because the actual expo center is nowhere near big enough to hold the whole thing. I walk a lot. I don't mind. I didn't mind the prices. Yeah, a lot of people complained about the prices, but a lot of people forgot that it was in a fairly trendy neighborhood, not on the ends of the earth like NYCC is. But as for legitimate complaints, the ATM and lack of figures. The ATM thing I think will be fixed, but going and not to mention the unusual plus of good food. Would I go as a guest? Yes. Especially since there's a lot less of a headache in going there. There actually is tickets being sold at the physical location in case you didn't buy. But there are just things that you need to keep in mind, that it's basically NYCC prices. And
Gotcha.
but would I go as a guest? Yeah, I would. And that's, that was the sole reason for me going. I wanted to scout the con, but I didn't have enough money to go as a guest. So I just wanted to see what it was like. I had no interest in
saw what it was like.
And unlike a lot of other people who were working there, I had no interest in continuing to work for cons. But to completely wrap it up, would I go as a guest? Yes. Would I work there again?
No.
Draw your own fucking conclusion.
Absolutely not. We are up against the break. Keep it right here on NTR Radio.
Shit, I need to pee. All the alcohol.
Well, again, do you want to read off the mails first?
Yeah, we'll do the mail.
Okay, because my story's not going to take too long, but it would probably end it with a snap because it's ridiculous. You know how you'll remember stuff that happened when you were a kid, and then it's even more funny to you than at the time? It's one of those. And it was hilarious at the time. So.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll be right back.
Roger.
Okay. Are these long mails or anything?
They're both moderate.
Okay, they're not going to be like where we need to give these ginormous explanations, are they? Just because this ran a little longer.
Maybe, but nah.
Oh, okay. Just curious.
Oh. God damn it, that took longer than I thought.
Note to self, do not take the bus.
Yeah, I love the fact that the bus only got better with someone on a walkie-talkie staying in the bus like the whole goddamn time.
That's because they gotta keep them on track.
It's like I thought that going down this side street in the opposite direction of the con would be a good idea. I just thought it would be. I thought it was fine.
It's the scenic route.
Yeah, fucking scenic route. In a straight goddamn fucking line. You just. Oh crap! I'll mention it when we go live again. It's just like one quick sentence about where the hotel was located. Just to like add on to like that whole thing of like the retard shower and the twin size beds. and the snoring.
Yes.
But you know what? If I ever stay with friends at a hotel for a con again, I know that it can only go up from here.
It cannot
Sounds
possibly
like
be
it.
worse.
Like the only way I could see it ever being worse is if you had like roach infestations or something. Possibly like bullet holes in the wall or something.
No, and the bullet holes were actually channels. For the bullet holes became infested with cockroaches. They laid their eggs in the bullet holes.
Oh.
Oh. You had a drinky drink?
No, I had it already. I had it over here. Yeah.
All right, everyone
Just
ready?
regular water.
Swing it.
Yes.
In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to NTR Radio. We have mail.
Incoming message.
As soon as I get the mail up, this first one's coming in from.
Oh wait,
Jacob-
what? Oh, sorry, 1 second. There was one little sentence I forgot to mention about our hotel situation.
Do it.
It was you had to cross like a small river that cuts in between Brooklyn and Queens in order to get to it, and across the river from where the hotel was is a water treatment plant.
Oh.
Just a cherry on top.
But anyway, mail, you were saying?
Anyway, Jekyll Geek is coming in here with this. Hello, NTR Radio pals. I have some more questions and comments for you guys. What the hell is happening with the second season of Idolmaster? I thought the first half of Cinderella Girls was okay enough, but this show is going down the dumper. There's too much forced drama, and they aren't really developing the characters anymore. They're just adding too many. Part of the reason I'm writing this to you is that I think that watching more Strike Witches made me come to this realization, as I had a good ensemble show to compare this to. Plus, with Umaru Anzu, all but has their own show.
It's actually it's pretty ideal that I'm here because I'm the only one who's up to date besides VZ.
I'm fine with it.
But
But here's the thing. Oh no, what you were gonna say?
I can understand where Jekyll Geek is coming from.
Me too. But
Especially with the introduction of Izek Nishido in the very first episode of the second half, who basically, I will admit, kind of came out of nowhere, and she's like a huge tonal shift in like the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls. But let's just kind of go back and forth these days. So you were gonna say.
All right, so basically, I know it's kind of bad. It's a bad sign of fiction if you say to someone, "Oh, you have to know this original piece of work in order to understand the characters, even if the show doesn't explain." Basically, if you want to know more about those characters that are showing up, go with the Wikia, that Idolmaster. There's project-ims.com, which is a wiki for Idolmaster, and you'll pretty much get what you need to know about those other characters that are showing up. Plus, listen to their character albums if you want to know more. The ones that do have their master albums.
Unfortunately, I'm not caught up with this, so I can't really make much in the way of commentary on it.
But anyway, with more of what Jekyll Geek was saying is that yes, with Nishido Joe I'm saying in Japanese because that's what I hear all the time. I say it I inadvertently said it in the Japanese because that's what I used to hearing all the time. But Izek Nishido, yeah, she's a pretty big change.
Yeah.
But as for the forcing of the drama, I feel that's, you can take a lot of things out of that because, there are a lot of instances where it's kind of like, except for what's currently happening concerning New Gen and like the relationship between Mio, Rin, and Uzuki, it's mainly served to actually kind of galvanize the girls, especially like the two girls of Asterisk, Rika and Mika, and like how they're being forced to do things that they didn't originally want to do, but they really managed to make something out of it. Yeah. And even those moments where certain girls kind of reject Zeki Nishido outright, and like, because that's actually the thing I kind of find slightly interesting about her, is that she's not overtly evil. It's just that her mindset and her values so completely clash with the way that Project Cinderella does things, and that's what kind of makes her the villain. But as for the forcing of the drama, you can see it as kind of like a galvanizing agent. You can see it as, once again, forced drama. But I've seen that same argument put to like the second season of K-On! I've seen that same argument put to Clan Out After Story. I've seen that same argument put to things like Anohana. To me, it's more a way of how you look at it. And I suppose, yes, you can look at it as being forced drama, but I still feel like it's still being tastefully done. But the introduction of all these other girls, I kind of agree with you there, and the fact that previously I did feel like, because the first season of Idolmaster Cinderella Girls and Contact Collection did premiere in the same season, if I'm not mistaken. And that was one thing I did compare them to, is that both of them had massive casts, and Cinderella Girls managed its gigantic cast better.
Mm-hmm.
They're adding on more girls into the second half, yes, but the focus is still maintaining on the girls who were originally established in the Cinderella project, which I think is the smart thing to do.
The main 14 and Mika.
Yeah. A lot of other side characters are being introduced, yes, but the main focus is still staying where it's always stayed, and I think that's important.
Mm.
Do I have mixed feelings about the second half? Yes, but I don't think I wouldn't say that it's going down the shitter. I feel it's a bit strong.
I would say I do wish that there were more episodes, like episode 9 from the first season of that. You know which one? The one where the Candy Island episode.
Oh yeah, that was actually a pretty good episode.
That was my favorite episode.
Honestly, those episodes where they were kind of starting their own idol groups, I think were some of the strongest episodes in this whole entire series.
Although I did like the one about for the second half, the one about when Rico was on that show where they were dressing like kindergarteners.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I think like you can say like the forced drama, like you can say it galvanized them instead, for the fact it's like both Rika and Mika were forced to do things that they didn't really want to do, but they managed to make it their own. And it's like, and that's what I mean, where like you say forced drama, I say that it was the drama, at least in that episode, was nice, and like it led to a good conclusion of like and also we get to hear lines like sexy and vivacious 12-year-old. That's all.
In a kindergarten act, in a kindergarten.
Yeah, in the kindergarten fucking outfit. That's you don't see that every day.
I'll say this before we head on to the next email. Not to disparage Jekyll Geek, but I feel like the term forced drama is kind of meaningless without any sort of qualification, like what elements did he believe were forced and whatnot. Because just saying forced drama, all that translates into is there were dramatic elements in this work that I don't feel were genuine for one reason or another, and it's difficult to really pin that down unless you actually have some sort of this and this and this were what made it feel forced to me.
Yeah, right. but Anubis, you know what I'm talking about, where it's like just specifically that singular phrase, forced drama. Like, I know you've heard it like applied to, like, say, Quanat.
Oh yeah, people say it's forced drama, or another one is emotional manipulation.
Yeah,
that's particularly for, you know.
It's like, emotionally disgusting.
Yeah, that's particularly the big one for, like, you know, the big the crying.
Yeah.
The crying shows, as it were.
Yeah, but I think forced drama as a term like that is kind of meaningless, and unless it's accompanied by this and this and this felt forced to me.
If there's a show that I feel like had forced drama, it would probably be something like not the OVA, but the TV series version of Black Rock Shooter.
Mm-hmm.
That's an example of something.
Oh, you know what? I'll actually agree with you there. That was a place where I feel like the drama was not well done.
I was cringing at some parts, like the part when she's just like beating with her pillow her cell phone. I'm like, yeah, you show that cell phone. I might saw it. Yeah. You know, another show that I felt was like forced drama. You know, to use that term.
Can you hear me now?
Anohana.
You know what? It's funny that you mentioned Anohana, because, you know, I was on ANN. Don't ask me why I was on ANN. And I looked through their forums. Don't ask me why I was on there too.
It's just wrong idea from start to finish.
So I looked through, like, you know, 2 pages of their underrated anime.
Yeah.
One person says Anohana, and they specifically say, unlike the emotional manipulation of Clanad, the drama here feels genuine. It's like, and I'm thinking about this, and it's like, you know what? I actually like Anohana, but you know what? I'll be totally honest. If you're looking at it from that perspective, it's like, once again, if you're coming in with that, you know, preconceived notion of like, oh, this is going to manipulate my emotions, quite frankly, I think Anohana might be a bit more guilty of that.
Well, here's the other thing. When you get into something that's just blanketly called drama, it's supposed to mess with you.
And
well, I mean, going back to the subject of the email, to a certain extent, I would forgive someone for not expecting drama out of
Idolmaster.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It's like the turn to drama in Idolmaster was, I thought, a little strange.
And that's if that's the case, if that's why he feels it was emotionally manipulative, then I could definitely see where that's coming from. But without any sort of, hey, this is this and this and this, or why I feel like this is the case, that it's sort of a meaningless phrase. But we got to move on to the next email.
Okay.
Bring it.
This one's coming in from Drawing Girl.
Incoming message.
Hello, NTR Radio. Lately, I've been thinking about how the Western fan base tends to view using anime as a form of escapism as a bad thing. This is something I find generally confusing. Using art as a form of escapism is a concept anime invented, since people used movies as a form of escapism during the Great Depression, for example. Not only that, but other people tend to use different forms of escapism, such as going to nightclubs or shopping, to avoid or cope with their real-life daily problems, and I don't see people criticizing them as much as they do anime fans. I don't see how anime is any different, and I don't understand why people seem to have this problem with it. After all, using anime as a form of escapism is a much better alternative than resorting to things that are legitimately unhealthy and damaging. What are your thoughts? Why does the Western fan base see using anime as a form of escapism as negative? And do you think there is ever a point where using anime as escapism goes too far? As always, thank you for your time.
Okay. I'll say one thing, and this is pretty much common across the core of people who say that. and that's they're anti-consumerist as well.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
I hate to point that out, but if you really listen to them, they really are not fans of things that are made just to entertain.
They're not fans of things made designed to sell product.
Yeah, this is something I've actually talked about not too long ago on. So there on Facebook, I've been seeing this one YouTube video popping up about why it's hard to make good anime, and
I've seen that in my recommended videos. I haven't clicked on it.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I know it's going to be shit.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. The message is 100% sound, and it's the same thing that we've been harping on the podcast since day one. Support what you want to see. But the thing is, it's stuck in this mindset where anime that's made as a commercial product is automatically devalued in favor of anime that's made, I guess made is not a commercial product, or anime that's deliberately made to kind of sort of break that mold, but commonly does not do well financially because it's not designed with the market in mind.
Yeah, but in the thing concern, I just want to make sure, because when you say commercially in mind, because like the thumbnail is like of that girl from Tiger and Bunny holding up the Pepsi.
Yeah.
Okay, I do. Okay, we are talking about the same thing. I haven't watched that, so But as for that whole idea of like pure of like something only being good if it's not made to sell, a product. I mean, I'm not even someone who watches Gundam, and I could list that as something. It's like Gundam has moved people. Gundam has definitely moved, like the souls and of whatever you want to say, the hearts and souls of people who watched it. Like people really get something out of that whole franchise. And, it was great to sell fucking model kits at the end of the day. So you gotta...
Yeah, or even the first Gundam was made to sell toys. In fact, there was shit put in first Gundam specifically because they wanted to sell a big deluxe die-cast toy.
Not only that, but there were things that were removed for the movie versions because they looked a little too silly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was because they wanted it to be a little bit more like...
Oh, you mean like the Methus?
No,
we're talking about the little hammer
Unfortunately,
thing.
the Methus is still there.
No. that was 5-6 years later.
But no, it's this thing where they conflate quality with commercial viability, and it's like an inverse proportion.
Because that was it. You gotta understand their frame of what they want is stuff like the Miyazaki, the Ghibli stuff, Satoshi Kon, these things that. Well, actually,
you mean the guy who's dead?
Ghibli stuff has merchandise, but how are you gonna merch his Satoshi Kon's things if he was still alive, or how are you gonna or Red Line or
exactly. And the thing is, here's something I've also been harping on for a long time. We can't be stuck in this mindset where we equate novelty with quality, because at that point all bets are off and we're just going to have crap media all the way down the line. But we have to praise it as awesome. We have to praise it as an artistic tour de force just because it's trying something new.
I always get annoyed when people talk about like the sameness of anime, and it's like...
Well, that's kind of what makes it its own thing, in a way.
First off...
There are certain things... I mean, it's like complaining that a style of music or something is too... it is too samey, but when it starts to go outside of those barriers, it starts to become something that's not the same thing.
That I get so annoyed at people that you know what people that do this. It's like, there's no good anime this season. There's no good anime being made anymore.
Well then, maybe it's time to put it to bed.
No,
seriously, you act like anime owes you something.
Exactly.
That, or you could still be a fan, but who says you have to watch new shit?
You know what? If they can't figure that out on themselves, then it's time to put to bed.
Anime is the only thing that I consume that's like of new IP. Everything else, music, television, movies, most of that stuff that I consume is all stuff from the. I don't really watch even tokusatsu that I'm a huge fan. I prefer watching older tokusatsu. That's just who I am. That's just, and I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem with being a fan of something, but consuming older stuff because now we have the access to this stuff.
But you know what, VZ? Yes, we have the access, but if they can't figure that out on themselves, then it's time to put it to bed. I'm sorry. We have everything that's coming out today, and everything that ever came out. Anything that ever came out, with like maybe the exception of a few things that are particularly difficult to get, but for the vast majority of stuff, we have access to everything that came out, and if people are gonna complain that there's nothing out there now for them, which is fair, everyone has their own preferences, but if you're gonna do that, and you can't figure out that we are living in the greatest age right now where we have access to everything. You can go and you can go watch Zeta Gundam. You can go and watch Battleship Yamato. All right. If they can't figure that out, then maybe it's time to put it to bed. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But
critical.
But back to what you said. It's like, the idea of like novelty being inherently worth something. It's like that's something I've experienced myself. Like, you can't novelty or originality or doing something different is not inherently worth anything. It's
worth nothing. Nothing.
It's
rotoscoping.
It's worth something if that new thing that you do is actually entertaining.
Yeah, if
it has longevity, then it's worth something.
I figured this out decades ago that the Japanese are averse to change. I figured that out decades ago. Only if they want the change. They're not gonna. You're not gonna insist that they. They're not gonna do it because you said something.
Well, to a certain extent, that's true for everyone. Everyone is adverse to change unless they want it.
Yeah.
And if people don't, this is another thing. People harp on this stuff like, yes, I'm sorry, but the market will determine what succeeds and what fails. And that's burned me before, because we're probably not going to get another see-through anime. But that's something we're going to have to deal with, because the market determines what season. We're however veering off the topic of the email, which is escapism.
Okay.
Right. Well, and that's kind of an interesting thing to me, because the same kind of people I see that complain about that are alcoholics.
I hope you're not talking about me. I'm still functioning.
No. I can think of a certain exec that just chugs like Guinness, like it's water.
Like it's like it's a blood transfusion, and they're like.
But the fact that disconnect is there, and they don't see it, is weird to me.
Well, it's this idea: one method of coping is better than another method of coping, and here's the thing: if you're needing to cope, that's a problem by itself. So we can argue over whether or not you watch cartoons to deal with the trappings of life and all that. Okay, yeah, that's weird. I'm gonna go and introduce friggin' chemicals into my body to cope with the trappings of my daily life. Like that. If you're needing to do that to cope, period, that's a problem. And I think what should be addressed first, rather than the method by which you cope with your daily life, is the fact that you even need to cope with anything in the first place.
That reminds me of
But
that.
we can't get to that level because people are too busy infighting with each other over some stupid shit about, oh, you do this, you do something that I don't do, so something's wrong with you, obviously, because everything I do must be right. So it needs to be this I'm okay, you're okay thing.
That reminds me of that image, the one, you know which one, the one that goes around of the one room with the anime stuff and the other room with the sports stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is this okay but this isn't?
That's an image I used in one of my articles on Iyashike. What is like, there are people out there who live and die by the Denver Broncos, a team they're not part of, and whose association with them is 100% imaginary. Some of these people don't even live in Colorado.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be seen as acceptable, but different methods of coping aren't. So we can't get to the. It was Einstein who said something along the lines of, "You can't solve a problem at the paradigm at which it was created." So what needs to happen is people need to stop cutting each other down over what they do in their spare time to deal with whatever bad things going on in their life, and understand that, hey, we all got bull crap going on in our lives. Let's start trying to overcome that, but they're too busy beating each other down because that makes them feel better. That's how they cope, by beating other people down for doing stuff they don't do.
Well,
yeah, but on that method of, you know, in my opinion, with the idea of like coping mechanisms, is, a coping mechanism is not inherently evil. It's the fact that you need a coping mechanism at all. But you know what? That's not a problem of anime. It's not a problem of games. It's not a problem of fucking trains or whatever the fuck else you're really interested in. It's a problem. It's a problem within your own life that you need to solve.
Bingo.
There is only, in my opinion, one valid way of judging coping mechanisms. And oh god, what was it? It's based on the ideas of, who's one of the four? Can someone name the four horsemen of atheism for me? Besides,
yeah, okay, yeah, it's obviously it's Richard Dawkins, Daniel Dennett, I think's his name.
Not Dennett and not Hitchens. The other
Christopher
one.
Hitchens. Oh, Sam Harris.
Yeah, Sam. It's based on the ideas of, like, you know, of Sam Harris and how he had the idea of scientifically evaluating what is and what isn't a good moral, and that his idea is that the moral that benefits the largest number of people possible can scientifically be determined as good. At least that was Sam Harris's idea. I take a similar opinion to what can and what cannot be considered a good coping mechanism. One that hurts the least possible people around you can be considered a good coping mechanism. And to me, that is the only possible way of really, in the most objective way possible, deciding what a good coping mechanism is. And quite frankly, watching fucking, you know, media, wherever, or playing media, wherever it happens to come from, I count that as one of the lesser destructive ones, as opposed to, you know, smoking or drinking or, you know,
cockfighting
or as Anubis said, you know, putting other people down for sport.
Competitive fapping.
But also, Drawing Girl said the idea of, like, how this culture of, like, you know, thinking that escapism is bad, like the cultural reason behind it, if I'm remembering correctly. Did she say that?
You got the email, bro.
I do have the email.
I'll go ahead and throw this out there.
We can talk about it anyway.
The thing is most anime fans I know don't really use it as escapism. They just enjoy it. They don't watch it to like, I had a bad day at work. They don't even do that. They just come home and they enjoy it the same way someone enjoys listening to a symphony or whatever.
Well, yeah, there's of course the element of like, it's not that by the person's own standard, it's not a mechanism for making themselves feel better. It's just something that they like.
No.
And also,
I also like to read. Is that escapism?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not even talking about fiction. I mean, I do read fiction, but.
And I mean, to a certain extent, it can be escapist.
Oh, sure.
Like,
especially like you're
when I boot up,
thinking you're in the Shire or some shit.
Exactly. When I boot up friggin' X3 Terran Conflict, that's escapism to me. Like, I'm immersed in this world where I'm this person in a spaceship trading energy cells for money and whatnot. But
pretending I'm bombing Iraq.
Bombs over Baghdad. That song.
But the thing is, escapism is not always a coping mechanism, and coping mechanisms are not always a bad thing. What I really want to know from these people who kind of attack the escapism angle is, like, what do you do?
Yeah, do you just like all day sit around like doing work?
What would you say you do here?
You had to do the Office Space thing.
But seriously though, I can't fathom a life where where all I'm doing is working. Like,
No,
all I'm doing is like going to a job, working,
and paying your bills,
and doing nothing.
There is truth to the phrase. There's truth to the phrase. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Bingo.
Well, and that's just it. These people, and again, I have a couple in mind. I'm not going to name names, but they seem like the most joyless people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They seem like life has just ruined them.
Just passionless.
And they feel it's like when you hear stories about like people being on an assembly line and having barcodes and just being like drones.
Yeah, like just sitting there,
like the old
widgets
Apple
into
commercial.
bigger widgets, and
punching their clock
on a conveyor belt, and it's like, is that what your life is? Because I
at
don't
that point,
think.
How are you any different than the automaton that's going to replace you?
Yeah. That's number one. Number two is, I can't. That's something I can't imagine doing. That's a kind of person I can't imagine being. Just this passionless individual who doesn't get all that excited about anything, doesn't get pumped, doesn't like. I can't imagine any of these people watching Gundam Unicorn and like getting up out of their chair and cheering when
something
like
happens or whatever.
Yeah, like when like the funnels just shred that one Jagan and it explodes into a ball of plasma, like
barreling through the asteroid field.
Exactly. Like I can't imagine not getting out of my seat and cheering.
I don't think it's
awesome.
that. I think it's the extent of escapism. I think that's what people have the trouble with.
Yeah, but not every anime fan's running around with a Daki out in their sidecar on their moped.
Not everyone's that one dude.
Nobody does that. That was the one guy.
I know, but there's people that think that though.
Yeah,
you know what? Too much of anything is a bad thing. You know what?
Yeah. Too much water is a bad thing.
Seriously, that makes you have to piss like a moose.
Well, no, that too much water will legitimately kill you. A lot of people who take MDMA die from water intoxication.
Or even like it's possible to OD on caffeine. Generally, though, you have to do it by eating diet pills. Generally, but still possible. It's possible.
So when you learn that water intoxication is a thing. You know, that thing that ostensibly makes up 75% of your body. Water intoxication. Hey, it's too much of anything will kill you.
And you know what? On the whole thing, it's like sure, being too much escapism, sure, is a bad thing. But you know what? I can also reverse that on people who say all escapism is bad. It's like being too much of a utilitarian, being too much of a stoic. It could also potentially be a bad thing. I could say that to you as well.
Too much escapism is a bad thing, but you know what? Too much reality, I would argue would be worse, because an intrinsic part of the human condition is the imagination. We're able to take whatever situation we're in now and imagine something greater.
Or worse.
What other animal can do that?
Or worse.
Or imagine something worse. Hell,
yeah.
But that's unique, and you're just completely squandering it because I need to be cool. I need to not be that person, because I saw the picture of those people out in Japan with their hug pillows, and I don't want to look anything like them, so I gotta be the exact opposite.
Well, Anubis, I don't know. The former gave us the wheel. The latter gave us crocodile.
Oh no.
I'm just saying. The ultimate escapism, you die.
You die.
But it's this idea of we're able to take the current situation and aspire to something greater, and that aspiration to doing more, doing better, having a better environment, and we're able to take a lot of this stuff from fiction, and I think that's what a lot of people miss when they talk about, hey, all this escapism and all that. It's helpful. It actually legitimately stands the chance to improve not only someone's personal life by helping them cope with whatever they're going through, but it can touch other lives as well. And I think a lot of people, when they go off on the whole escapism thing, completely miss out on that, because they're too preoccupied with appearing with not associating themselves with, in fact, associating themselves on the exact opposite of the spectrum from people whose only crime was they do something that I don't do, so I have to, because we consume the same medium, regardless of how broad this medium is, regardless of how disparate what that person watches and what I watch are. I need to 100% disconnect from those people. So I'm going to vilify them, and I'm going to shame them, and I'm going to tell everyone that what they're doing is wrong, and anything close to what they're doing is wrong. Anything within the tri-state area of what they're doing is wrong. So people will come to my side and validate me instead of doing what they want to do, because if they even get close to whatever that person's doing, they're going to get shamed.
No, it's the whole idea of keeping face. That's what you're describing. It's the idea of keeping face.
I'm still struggling with my nerd image, so I need to disassociate myself with people who I don't like, because it's going to make me look better when, in reality, I'm just another person. I'm just another nerd watching cartoons in the eyes of everyone else.
Overload my aggression inhibitors.
That was like a certain... No, I was going to say, that was like a certain someone on a certain podcast saying that, like, you don't have to defend all anime. Not all anime is worth defending.
I really don't care.
I would argue that all anime is worth defending on the basis that it's art.
Yeah, to
Sorry.
turn it around.
Yeah,
But-
but if I don't like it, then it's not worth defending.
It's not worth defending to you. No, it isn't. Okay,
Well, that person isn't worth defending then.
and neither are they. But anyhow, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I've always had that in the mind that humans just have an innate need to create things. I mean, I think it comes right down to our core.
Yeah, but what do you want to make?
Hey, come on.
There's a core intrinsic part of human nature that will always aspire to greater things.
Right. Okay, so I think that need to create is there. I think it's almost psychological in a way.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm of the firm belief that it's something that's ingrained in the human thought process, that we can't just stagnate like that.
Right. So here's my thought on that. Okay, you look back in time and you'll see all our grand like architecture and things like that. Okay, you might wonder how that has anything to do with anime. Well, there actually is something I'm going to bring to connect the two. We don't really do that anymore.
Nope.
We do not. You don't see really these really cool grand cathedrals anymore that weren't built like in the 1400s or some shit, or whatever, or just Middle Ages or Reformation period or whatever.
To a certain extent.
Hell, we don't even see like the American architect who made the waterfall house.
That's what I'm saying is you don't see those kind of projects anymore. But what you do see is a lot more concentrated efforts on media.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where it's going.
Yeah.
That's where I think that need is going, because not everybody can build that kind of thing.
And more people have more access to more tools to create.
That's what I'm saying. They have the tools.
Yep. It is.
I mean, come on. Did any of you build sandcastles?
It is amazingly simple to create your own media nowadays, and
Right.
That's great. That's amazing.
No other time in history has that been really possible.
I draw my own porn.
Yeah. Okay. That's the name of the guy.
The name of the guy is I draw my own porn.
Who built Falling Water?
Okay.
Frank Lloyd Wright. That was his name.
Oh yeah, right. Okay. Didn't they also do a couple of oddball buildings?
Yeah, he made quite a bit of stuff. But that's why I brought him up, because things being built, because I immediately thought of him because he just built these oddball places, just basically as concepts.
Just because. Just to fulfill a need, probably.
Just cause.
No, but Anubis, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
with your website, or when you're doing a model kit or something, which technically it's parts that are already kind of made, but
to a certain extent. But when the first step is to build the thing, but then that's all. Everything you do after it, the painting and the detailing,
right? You personalize it
and all that. It's creation. It's this human drive to make things bigger and better. That's why I can't begin to imagine the existence.
Somebody that's not like that.
Yeah, I can't begin to imagine the existence of someone who feels the need to attack escapism. I can't, because if you don't indulge in that, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't indulge in that kind of imagine something greater, imagine something fantastical, imagine something impossible, because we're able to do that, then I can't. That's what I can't imagine. That kind of existence where I'm not constantly thinking of what can I do to make this better, or what do I want to build, or what do I want to do to this model kit, or what station do I want to build next in X3. I can't begin to fathom that existence. It seems remarkably, impossibly dull, and that's why I think is so hypocritical when people attack attack escapism, because
Imagine if Tolkien wasn't an escapist.
imagine if so many of these people who wrote all these grand stories, stuff we get elements of storytelling from. Imagine if they were the kinds of people who attacked escapism.
Yeah, and that whole idea of like attacking escapism, like that whole was it possibly mentioned like a cultural reason for it? It's like I find that these are the sorts of people who are too basically wrapped up in the idea of keeping towards societal wars. The people who are too wrapped up in wanting to keep face. The two people who are too wrapped up.
I have to appear normal.
Well, that brings me to another thing, and this is just again me being kind of the history guy. There's one thing I've noticed throughout all of recorded history, and that's when times are good, art flourishes.
Mm-hmm.
When it's bad, art still comes out, but it always reflects it too.
Exactly.
Always. Like, look at the paintings and stuff that ended up coming out of the Black Death.
Yep.
Like, that is some fucked up shit right there. Like, you'll have people that are just, like, praying to die and stuff. It just kind of weird stuff like that. But no, and I think that's because when things are good, obviously you don't have to worry about the neighbor country invading you and or your food rations running out and
or dying from an unseen force that
you assume is the sun trying to kill you. Okay, but to make things a little less heady now, I have a story.
Okay, go
Story time. Okay. This was sometime in grade school, so, kindergarten through 6th grade. I don't remember exactly what year it was because some of it all kind of blurs. If nothing else, because we all had recess at the same time. All the students did. Like the 4th through 6th graders were all at the same time, and the 1st through 3rd, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we always played. The only real sports you could play were soccer and basketball. Football for our South American and European listeners. But
for people who actually care about soccer to call it.
The people who actually get in fights over that shit. Well, I always preferred playing soccer because, well, that's most of what my class did. There'd always be these two different teams that would play each other for years. You know what I mean? Like these rivals that just kept. But that's just the pretext of what happened. We also had this really kind of tall principal that had kind of those like Conan O'Brien long legs, Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if you know what I mean by that, but he's just really tall.
I sort of know what you mean, yeah.
He's really tall and he's bald, but anyway, we were playing, and one of the things he liked to do was come out to the like playground basically during recess and like observe stuff that's going on. This would be just completely random, you know what I mean? Like almost like a superintendent just kind of popping by randomly. Well, he ended up coming to the soccer field where we were playing, and he ended up taking the ball in the middle of play. And he blew his little whistle, and everybody had to come around and listen to him, right? He's this big, tall, bald dude. Like, he has it under his arm, you know what I mean? Standing there, like, barking these stupid orders that kids aren't paying no attention. You know how it is.
Yeah.
He's, like, saying all this stupid shit, like, you guys need to stop playing horsey and all this, like, dumb shit. But that's not what was funny. What was funny is, besides us, we also had the people, for some reason they were out there, the people from the BD unit. And BD stood for behavioral disorders.
Oh.
They're not special ed. They're not. They're the same intellect as everybody else, but they're just unruly,
Okay.
All right. And this fat kid just like knocked the soccer ball out from behind him. Like, that's under his arm. Like, punched it out from his arm, scooped it up, and started running like it was a football across the field. And he had to go chase him down with these long fucking Frankenstein legs. Just like, doom, 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 and it was funny watching him try to catch him, because you got this chubby kid trying to run with the soccer ball, just making all these noises and shit. Running across the field. And then you got this big, tall guy that can't hardly run because he's going to scuff up his shoes and everything else trying to catch this kid. Okay, and nowadays, and this is how you know this dates me as a person too, because nowadays that wouldn't be there. There wouldn't be the BD room like that. Yeah. Nowadays they would just like grab them, grind up Ritalin, and mainline it into them. You know, but it was really entertaining because it looks like watching him bark and try to catch this kid running through the fields. It was funny, and we never got to finish the game either. So.
Of course.
That's unfortunate. That's the true tragedy of this whole thing. You couldn't finish it.
I was roaring when he took off with the soccer ball, though. like I was on the ground cackling. I don't know what was funnier, the fact that that kid did that, or watching him try to catch him.
But yeah, that was the. I can almost imagine like you grind up the Ritalin and it's like, here, snort this.
Yeah.
I think we need to wrap this up.
Yeah, we've gone on for quite a while.
Yeah.
That's the show. The email address is ntrradio@gmail.com. The website is she'slostcontrol.net/ntrradio.
Also, moeandmechagatai.com.
Check out VZ stuff at vzmk2moeandmechagatai.wordpress.com.
Yeah. Demand that Galco-chan get licensed and translated.
For real.
So I could understand because I really want that. I need my Garu sluts. I need my stank pussy.
Nobody wants to deal with the stinky puss. Okay.
Has that become a thing since I told you about that shit?
I just like saying that because now that I think of Garu, now I think of that.
But okay, so since we're also plugging people, I'm gonna plug myself.
Do it.
You can find me at avillainousjasminet.wordpress.com, where you can hopefully maybe you can possibly like annoy the shit out of me to actually start writing again. That would actually be nice. Like literally, someone like annoy me to death. That actually might be better for me. But anyway, Anubis.
Check out Otaku Midnight. They're really good. Check out the Bakugaijin show. They're also really good. Check out Nyan the magazine. She's lostcontrol.net/Nyan, Nyan. Not your average anime nerds.
Don't check out Anime 3000 though.
You can go ahead and check out Anime 3000. I'm not gonna stop you. Don't know why you'd want to, but go ahead. I'm Tom Enforcer Anubis.
K-Gods.
I'm VZ Mark II.
I'm Villainous Hotshot.
Even though I'm you, that's number one. And even though the driver takes a detour every time we say it, this is NTR Radio.
And this is 60 Minutes.
I think that was way more than 60 minutes. I'm just going to say that much.